another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello. Today is a little different. I wasn't able to hook up with Bruce on Restream, so it took us a little while. We had technical difficulties, so now we're
We've been having these difficulties for about 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Two different weeks. I didn't air at all last week. I didn't have anything on last week. So for the Girl and Guy in the Movie. So
yeah, I'm skipping Rumble and YouTube today, but that's fine.
Sorry.
We brought Josh with us because we were in backstage and just kind of having a lot of fun and having a 3-way conversation.
Yeah, he watched the movie with us, so we figured we'd bring
what up, world champions?
Talk to us with it about it. So that's okay. But yeah, what did you guys think about the movie? I'll start with Josh since he's the guest.
It is still easily one of my top 5. It's aged well. It's freaking awesome. Love the soundtrack. Great cast. Practical effects. My God. Like we'll get into it later. But if you haven't been anywhere near a TV set in the last 40 years, or seen this in the theaters, like, pick this movie up. Go get all versions of the DVDs and enjoy it. Each one's got its own little flair. You got the VHS, which was the plain theatrical release.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the collector's edition. You got the special edition. They got Blu-ray. Like, there's no reason why you should not watch this, and you'll enjoy it.
Well, Bruce, what is your opinion about the movie we just watched? How many times have you seen it before?
Probably close to about 15 or 16 times. Not as many as other people that love this movie, but I've seen it a sizable amount of times. I like the film. I think it's probably, this is it, and we'll discuss it later, but this is a movie that's it's a relic from the 70s, because that's when the script was written, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the 70s that already contributed to the general feeling that pervades in this movie. But this movie is a really probably the best non-Star Wars science fiction from the 70s. That's just how I feel about it. It's a very good time capsule into the mindset of people that are pretty common. Because at the time, John Carpenter wasn't anybody special. He was just a small fry director. He just fresh out of film school. And he wrote this after he did Dark Star. And you have a lot of crap going on. We have the Watergate scandal, with G. Gordon Liddy and the rest of the Nixon White House. And then you also have the oil field crap going on, where we had, certain days you could go to the gas station depending on what your number was and your license plate. Mm-hmm. And there's just a bunch of, for lack of better term, thank you, Jimmy Carter, malaise going on in the country. And this movie really just illustrates everything that was so much in the mindset of the mid-70s. It wasn't made till 1981, but when it was released, it did rekindle a lot of feelings of what it was like just a few years beforehand. Because for most modern America, not a whole lot had changed yet. They hadn't started to see the effects of the tax cuts that Reagan started. They hadn't started to see the effect of like the military and the retail markets awakening to the real estate market becoming unburdened from what it's been. And it was just a massive shift that was coming in the 80s, and this movie was before that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a very much a good barometric pressure check of what was going on in the mind of a 70s man. And John Carpenter really pulled that off very well. I'm pretty certain him and I would not get along politically, but I can certainly admire his creative vision and turning one of my favorite cities into one of my favorite cities on film. Because nobody in St. Louis looked like such a shithole like John.
It was funny because that was one of the trivia things that we found was the fact that they weren't satisfied with the skyline or really the area of New York, so they sent their scouting manager out to find the shittiest looking town or city that they could in St. Louis, Missouri. I was surprised when I read that, but I was pleasantly surprised because it's been like what I'd say 17 years, I guess, since I saw this the last time. I've seen it multiple times, about 12, 13 times. And I was impressed on how well I think it stood up to the test of time. The only thing that I felt outdated the movie so that someone younger, a young person like 12, 14 years old, watching this for the first time, the only thing that would throw them really out of it being a B-rate sci-fi movie was the fact that the president had a cassette tape in his briefcase. If he'd had a flash drive in there, then, or something like that, or some other futuristic looking device to listen to, it would have been interesting. You know what I mean? It would have been fine because like what we were talking about, the cars that you thought were outdated for the movie, Bruce, but I said, like, look at Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, they
old cars in Cuba, and they're still driving them and using them and taking good care of them. And if people in New York were walled in, and that's the cars that were in there, because everybody that had decent cars would have took them with them when they escaped before they made it into a prison. So all you'd be left would be clunkers and old vehicles, that were at the junkyard or, just sitting around.
And the main reason why I say that the movie kind of dates itself because it's supposed to be set in 97.
Yeah.
I don't see any junk ass 97 or 87 or, whenever. And this would have happened. 1988 is when they walled off the city. So 11 years beforehand, they would have still had some newer cars than a 78 Pontiac Bonneville or Thunderbird, but that's okay. I'm not going to get too critical on that because I know for a fact, when you go to crappy third world countries, they are driving cars exactly like what you see in this movie.
Yeah, I just thought he was kick ass. I mean, just seeing him. Now, this isn't the outfit he's wearing in the movie. This must have been promotional photograph or whatever because he's wearing the camo pants, with this. And but I did like the scene when he took off his shirt and he had that cobra coming up out of the pant line around his waist. I forgot about that. But I thought he was impressive how well he did at being an action type hero, bad boy, whatever you want to, anti-hero that held up this long. You know what I mean? At least that's how I felt by watching.
Disney sweetheart to absolute badass.
He was so wanting to get rid of that Disney sweetheart bullshit too.
Yeah, that's what they said about why he wanted this part so bad, is he was trying to take away the good boy image that he had. And I think he did a good job at being in a movie that's just iconic, because almost everyone I've talked to about it, even my sisters that normally don't like action movies, they still like this. They thought it was a very good science fiction type movie, and the fact that they had two good writers that helped write the script, I think that made a big difference. I think I talked about that earlier. It was Nick Castle was the writer that wrote with the
he wrote with John Carpenter to make this film.
the director.
And the big movie that he's known for writing and directing was The Last Starfighter, which appears on every one of our friends' top 10 movie lists, it seems like.
Yeah, mine too. I just love that movie. And it was
I'm not bitching about it. I think it's a great film. I think it's a fantastic movie. It still holds for having early CGI. That movie holds up the best out of all the early CGI films. And even
it was phenomenal. Costumes and stuff too.
The costumes are okay. The costumes are really good. The makeup is where for me, like you don't want to look at the guys that are kind of in the background too much, because you can kind of tell they just did a kind of a slapdash job on the masks. They didn't do a real severe job in the making of Last Starfighter. They tell you that with anybody that was up close to a camera, we spent a lot of time on those costumes. On anything that was going to be over 30 foot away, we didn't spend a lot of time on it. And they
kind of like what they did with the Walking Dead.
Say again?
Your hero masks up front. Kind of like what they did with the Walking Dead. You had your hero masks and whatnot, and then in the background it was progressively less detail, but easier to produce.
Yeah.
This is for YouTube.
What? What's for you? Oh,
there we go.
I saw your picture. Okay, well, all right. That makes perfect sense. But
testicular problems with YouTube.
I don't know if it's Restream or whatever, but I'm gonna have Janet get me your email, and I'm gonna send Restream a strongly worded letter to get their shit together, because it's
okay. Well, I'm really sorry. I really tried it. I restarted my computer. I tried 2 different browsers.
It's beyond our capacity to solve it. Just later on, get me your email, and I'll package it to Restream and be like, what the fuck? We couldn't hit her, connect her, and pair her stuff for a stream. I had to use StreamYards today.
Yeah.
And I feel like afterwards I got to wash myself, because StreamYards is such a piece of shit, censorious fucking product.
Well, I'm sorry. I paid for a whole year
goddamn prices.
Save money. So that's what I'm using until I paid off. So
can't wait till you get
the one thing we talked about earlier too was the poster, because we talked about the Ellis Island whole thing and how they showed the Statue of Liberty.
Actually, the poster's what you got right there.
Yeah, and I pulled this up because we were talking about this, and the fact that you see the Statue of Liberty's head in the poster, but the head isn't off like that. Because this when I saw that this time, it reminded me of the Planet of the Apes poster, or the one scene where they're showing the beach and it has the Statue of Liberty, coming out of the sand. But I think they did it simply to get people to see it's New York City because of the buildings around it. And, it's all utter chaos and it's falling apart. So I thought that, and it's an icon of New York.
And I'm not trying to say earlier that St. Louis is a shithole city. At the time, they just endured a nasty fire downtown.
Yeah.
They hadn't had the money yet come through to where they could start fixing things. So Union Station, which is a favorite tourist spot. I remember back in 88, 89, when I started going down to St. Louis a lot to go see Six Flags and Busch Stadium and all that sort of stuff. We were going there, and we were always going to Union Station for just a drink or lunch or what have you. And it's a very nice mall. It used to be, at least. I haven't been to St. Louis in so many years as a tourist, and I do kind of miss that, because it was a very nice city compared to the middle of Illinois, which is a giant cornfield where you can have depression and air out your thoughts like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Just a very sad place to be, in my opinion. I know, Bruce, you're talking about your home like that. Yes, which is why I left it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about Chicago.
No, I'm talking about the middle of the Illinois, which it's safer than Chicago, but it still has the same amount of jobs, which is zero. I will kidney punch Illinois until they fix themselves. When Illinois can unfuck themselves and turn into a capitalist state, we'll see what happens. But right now, they're a little socialist shithole. and I just absolutely hate the state of Illinois. It's a fine place for a state to be, but it just doesn't happen. Anyway, I really
As an
like
expatriate of the Granola Republic, I feel your pain. Fifth largest economy in the world.
The granola. What's the Granola Republic? I don't know what that means.
Oh, the Granola Curtain, the Granola Republic, the California.
Oh, okay.
Choose
I've
your,
never heard that before. So, but
choose
yeah.
your moniker for the Golden State of communism here in the U.S.
Yeah, Marx is very happy with his work he did in California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just the movie for St. Louis, they used that, and they did do some set decorations. They added some extra broken cars to help block off line of sight down some roads, which are normal. And there are some areas in the city where, like, you can see where there is a little bit of iconic St. Louis stuff that's covered up, but you don't really see that too well with this film because they shot it at night. And they shot it at night probably with a little bit of money going to some of the people in the area because they shut down 10 city blocks. They'd cut power while they were filming.
Every night for 2 months.
Could you imagine
I
that?
thought that was amazing.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But
I like the little fact about how the test audience or what have you was like, this movie is really dark, not because it's dystopian, but it's shot at night. So then they throw that one scene of daylight with the helicopter, and like, there you go.
And a cornfield. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
that was a cornfield.
Yep.
So I was like, well, they can grow food inside the boundaries too. So that, to me, I thought that was pretty good to show that they could be self-sustainable if the people would choose to try to do something for themselves.
I remember at the shop once I read where they had a garden, and the kids were so happy. The little commie people were so happy they had a garden, and then other homeless people came along and ate all the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
They just dug up and destroyed the garden, stomped on all the plants, and then just ate the seeds. And the remaining communists that were there trying to farm, their failed farm experiment, they just broke down in tears. I remember the shop. Do you?
That's awful.
I mean, this is the shop we're talking about. Like, what do you expect at the shop? This is the chop. The Seattle, not San Antonio, the Seattle communist place when they took over in, what was it, 2020? And by the third day, they're asking people to please send food. Communism works. They did exactly what it always does. But it was just a funny little experiment. And yeah, experiments do go wrong, or they have hiccups. Human factor. Anyway, this movie is great, and it's funny to kind of argue or talk about the various things you see inside New York City, because there's some stuff that you see this film, and I was wondering a couple times, they almost look like the same exact people in the extras that we saw at the gathering in the movie The Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's something, I was trying to find it, but I just don't see it in the photos. I'm going to try to go through some more of these photos and see if I can find it. The whole thing about the practical effects that they use and how much of it made this movie so rich in details and textures and the costumes. I mean, I honestly, working on this set, it must have been really hard and smelly. Was what it looked like, because everybody looked filthy, and dirty and sweaty. Now, he even looked pretty good, even after he had that fight and got the crap beat out of him and everything, and he's limping around. He still didn't sweat a lot. His hair was still nice and luxurious, and and everything. But she looked good. Adrienne, how do you say her last name again?
Adrienne Barbeau.
Barbeau. Yeah, she was gorgeous. Her
That's the first time I've ever heard you
cleavage
say that
didn't
about
even
her.
sweat. That
I
was
can't
the
even
one thing I
believe
noticed.
Mark it down as the calendar. This is the first time that she's ever said that Adrienne Barbeau looked gorgeous.
Well, she did. She looked good in this movie.
I mean,
Now,
that's why
she
you
kind of looks
married
like
her.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't it? Almost a young Arnold Schwarzenegger to you
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
drawing.
Portuguese poster is freaking hilarious. I'm
Yeah,
just
I was
saying,
trying to
this
find a
right
picture
here.
of her in that outfit on this website, but so far I haven't really seen many pictures of her. So hold on, I'm going through these real quick.
The practical effects, I think, are after the posters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, oh, here we go. All right, yeah,
There's
this
Ox.
fight was really, really realistic to me. Was it to you guys?
Oh yeah, it's because he was giving her all swings.
Yeah, and I did read
The
in
big
trivia
guy.
that the big guy was really giving him a run for his money, and he said he had to tap him on the groin area and to let the guy know, hey
Yeah.
man, you need to back off a little because you're really doing some damage to me. But it looked really good, and the sound effects didn't sound fake. You remember I said a couple scenes where I cracked up because they were doing the fist fights, and you could hear the noises going on, like you could tell it wasn't real. It cracked me up though, and it was very nostalgic. But some of the parts in here when they were hitting the trash can lids, and when he hit him on the back of the head finally at that one part, it sounded real to me. It probably wasn't, because he's still alive or whatever, but it was very realistic. The sound effects that went along with this whole scene, I felt.
Yeah, Ox Baker.
Yeah,
when I was a child watching this, like, he was a literal giant to me.
Yeah,
he reminded me of the big buff guys from Double Dragon that you had to fight, the Abobo character. It was very nostalgic for me watching it again and thinking back when I was a kid when I first watched this, going, oh my god, he's fighting a giant, like gladiator style with trash can lids. Back when trash cans were metal.
It was good because if you were to think about what it would be like to be trapped in an old city, a city that's basically in disrepair really bad, and people wanted to be entertained, like the one scene that had Ernest Borgnine sitting at the theater, and all you see them is lined up in the front row, and they're all laughing, and you see the light moving and stuff. So I'm thinking, oh, they're lucky they got a movie going. But then when they turn the camera around, and so you can see the back of their heads and what's on stage, and it's a bunch of guys dressed up in women's clothing, singing and dancing. I just thought it was hilarious. And but that's what you would have to have. It'd be like, in times where we wouldn't have any, electricity and stuff, and you had to amuse yourselves. You'd have to basically start over again on entertaining yourself. What would you do? I mean, you don't have TV and you don't have cell phones. And as far as I could tell, they said they didn't have any guns.
We wheel out like Justin Trudeau, and he's in handcuffs and beat up a little bit, and we put some blackface on. Go do what you do, little boy.
Yeah, that's what they would have to do, basically, But this whole scene, this is what I was looking for. This was freaking awesome when I read about it, and it said it was not done with CGI or computers. That the guys that came up with the practical effects for this movie painted the whole little city and town and made maps and then outlined them with tape. And then they just took the camera and slowly panned over the thing so you could see it going up and down and moving. It was just amazing that they did that, because watching it, anybody would say, "Oh, that was done with computers," but it wasn't. They did it. They painted it and did it themselves by hand when they put this on there. So that was pretty good. That was a good practical effect. And to me, this is the kind of stuff that should get nominated for awards when they're giving out, movie awards and stuff, because this took work and effort. You know what I mean? It's not like pushing a couple buttons on a keyboard and saying, there you go, one guy doing it. This took multiple people to come together to make something this cool for this movie, because they didn't have the money to hire people to do the CGI and all that stuff with computers. So I was impressed with that when I read that, because I didn't know that. And I've watched it all these times, and I could have swore it was all done with computers, but it wasn't. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, this was the early day of the transition from analog to digital, like mainstream.
Yeah, it was.
And so, like,
phenomenal.
for them not to do that, because it was super expensive to do anything digital, you know, the practical effects are phenomenal. And then the soundtrack was awesome. And I was reading somewhere, or maybe it was on the DVD, I forget which, but they had like 8 synthesizers, because they could only do like 1 or 2 notes with the memory on that thing. And so they had like 8 synthesizers to do the awesome soundtrack, where nowadays we got like 1 keyboard with a built-in synthesizer that, you know, you can do hundreds, if not thousands, of different sound effects and whatnot. So it kind of puts it in perspective when you look at how old this movie is, the lengths that they went to get all this stuff to jive correctly, and then it comes out with a phenomenal product. Like, it's amazing, and it still holds up.
Look at the room around her in this picture. Look at the detail that or what they worked to look for to have in every scene. Is this. See the wallpaper's peeling off. The walls are dingy and old looking, and there's rats and trash and dust, inches of dust and dirt and debris on the floors and stuff, to make it look like an aged city, like it'd been many, many, many years that these people had been trapped in there, because it was like a giant prison, and they weren't allowed to come out, or they would be, you know, killed or whatever. But they did a good job making it look authentic, you know, if you're watching it, because that's what kind of stuff I was looking for. I was also looking to see if I ever saw Snake Plissken with his eye patch on the other eye, you know, an accident by doing that. I didn't notice it, but
Kurt Russell, you can forget that.
Yeah, I know, but I
costuming would have put that on his face.
To do it. Editing to do it by flipping the film on accident.
Costuming would have done that to him, or if they would have flipped the film during the middle of the movie before it was released, I could see Kurt Russell being like, hey, on minute this, on second that, you guys got to fuck up here. Because he would say that.
Because that was his idea. That was Kurt Russell. He's the one that came up with the idea to do that. And John Carpenter says, oh, yeah, I like it. Let's keep it. So
even in movies
clean she is. Look how pristine she looks throughout the whole movie. I mean, look at her jacket's clean, her hair's clean, her chest is clean. She's not sweaty. She doesn't have dirt, you know, and grime built up in her cleavage or anything. For someone who doesn't have access to you know, fresh water and all that. So I thought, and plus the fact that she married John Carpenter might have been part of it. I don't know, but I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, look how good she looks.
$28 a month.
And she's a badass.
Adrienne Barbeau could get a bath.
Yeah. Let's think about it.
With Sarah McLachlan singing in the background.
Oh, yeah, gotta have Sarah McLachlan singing in the background. I will.
This was interesting. The fact that this actress was married to the director.
Yeah.
Okay. And this actress was married to Kurt Russell at the time of this movie. That was interesting.
And she just gave birth not too long before this.
Very young baby.
Yeah, Boston was just born. Boston Russell had just been born shortly before this scene was filmed.
Not long. Yeah. So I just thought it was very, very interesting, and how well John Carpenter and Kurt Russell get along, because they've been in multiple movies together.
They're buds. Like
this scene cracked me up right here.
Why does this scene crack you up?
Remember, when he first turned his head, I said, "Holy shit!" I guess in the 80s when this came out, in 1981 or 84 or something.
81.
Okay, it would be normal for a badass to have a giant earring like a pirate, but when I saw it and knowing the actor, and in 25. I went, what the fuck? Why does he have that clip on, on his ear? Because he would have been more badass without an earring. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't know. I just thought that dated it. To me, that was one of the things that dated the movie, was that scene. Because I just thought that was, I don't know. It just took me out of the scene when I saw
I don't know, Josh. You think we can bring Janet to the Pirates of Penzance and, have her remain,
That's different. They're pirates. He's not a pirate. He works for the government, supposedly.
Oh, he's a big pirate. He's a government pirate. Arr.
I just thought it was, I think I did. I told you guys about it, that this scene, I even wrote it down in my notes.
It was the 80s, and that was like the cool thing to do, get the single earring.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. Like all the girls that like to get the nose rings and stuff.
Well, that's the now. That's 2024. I gotta have an ugly fucking bulldog nose ring.
Yeah, or what was
either
it?
The
That
single
one
hoop earring, the stud, or the cross that was dangling from the earlobe.
There was a stand-up comedian that talked about it. I think it was Larry the Cable Guy, and he was saying that you would put a little hook or a chain in there, and you could lead her to the buffet or something. I don't remember.
Get her done.
Like nose rings or whatever. But yeah, see, look how good he looks. I mean, he looks really young. What was he, in his 30s?
He's 30 years old in this movie.
Yeah, he looks really young. And his son, oh my God, that looks like his son standing there, doesn't it?
Clean up an aisle, Janet. Clean up an aisle, Janet.
But that does look like his son. His son could play Snake Plissken in the movie.
I've been hoping for them just to, if you're going to do like reboots and sidequels and shit, let's bring out Wyatt Russell, get him out of the MCU and Star Wars garbage, and have him star in a movie with a real character like Snake Plissken. He could take over his daddy's role and do the Cleveland incident, and you could do the other incidents that they didn't really talk about.
I think he would do well, and he's a good actor. I liked him in Overlord.
I liked him in Overlord. I hated Overlord.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't great, but
Yes.
yeah, this earring just gets on my nerves.
Jackie Blue's like, oh, hell yeah.
Historically inaccurate, but if you could get past that, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The whole movie was inaccurate, but it was still good. A good action movie, war movie. Now, honestly, I thought he did a pretty good job as president, and acting like a stuffed shirt. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I thought he did a good job for someone in that position.
The only negative is possibly his British accent. I'll forgive that.
Well, honestly, it's a future.
Flat.
And so many people are from so many different countries. I'll be talking to somebody and they're from Boston, and then I'll be talking to another person that's from like Texas or whatever. And you got all these different, mixed accents in all different states. So I have a lot of British friends, and it wouldn't shock me that they had a high position in government or whatever. I mean, just because they have a slight accent in some form, that didn't throw me off at all. I didn't think. I thought he did a good job playing a stuffed shirt. And the fact that he had this briefcase chained to his wrist, when anytime they could have just broke the chain and opened the briefcase to take whatever they thought was important in there, because they took the time off to take the wristband off of him. They had his heart rate and everything on it, to keep track of him. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. And this right here was one other thing. It was very subtle, but this is one of the things that dated the movie. Also, was this phone, sitting there, the red phone. Did you guys notice that during the movie too?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
So they were very
80s equivalent of his Fitbit to the antiquated phone, because it would have been like a satellite phone. In reality,
it would have been like a huge suitcase phone. If nothing else, it would have been like that.
Yeah.
But look at her facial expression in this, and in the other scene where she's walking in the bathroom where she was in a pretty good mood. Okay, there's not that much difference. You know what I mean? the other scene is after her man is murdered and she wants to get revenge. It's very subtle.
Like if
This
you
is the-
murder
this is
Ernest
the reason-
Borgnine, who was a lovable character, you're
No,
gonna pull out the
not
44
him.
Magnum and take them out.
Brain got killed.
Yeah,
Remember?
that's after Brain died.
When she starts shooting the car with the Duke in it. But the thing is, this is one reason why I never really liked her. I didn't say she wasn't pretty because I think she's attractive. I just don't understand why so many guys thought she was such a great. If she was big, was she big? Wasn't she in Swamp Thing?
She was in Swamp Thing.
Yeah, and she was half dressed in that movie.
She covered up everything but her cleavage.
Well, I think there's plenty other women out there that are way better actors and beautiful. But
I
didn't
mean,
think she's
you
like-
obviously
Also,
didn't pay attention to the sequel, then, did you, Janet? You
To
never
what?
saw the Return of Swamp Thing, did you?
No.
Well, the
But
Return
I
of
still think
Swamp
she's that
Thing-
good of an actress. But she did okay in this movie. She did okay because basically all she had to do was run around, show cleavage, and shoot a gun.
Heather Locklear had a challenge in Return of the Swamp Thing.
I didn't see that one.
You will have to watch it. It'll have to be put on the list, I guess.
Is it better than what was it, Willy's Wonderland or whatever?
Of course, it's better than Willy's Wonderland.
Thank you.
Everything is better than Willy's Wonderland.
Then I'll watch it. Then I'll sit and watch it if it's
Got
better.
a
than
Fine.
that.
solid 4.7 on IMDb.
What did?
Yeah, it's actually got a redeeming quality to it.
Return
Well,
of
aside from the
Swamp Thing.
credits.
It's
What did this one get on IMDb? Did you look and see? Because I'm on it, but I don't want to have to look.
I think it was a 7.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
7
A
or 8.
7? I guess that's not too bad for them. There she is
That's
again.
just
She's got a
decent.
serious look on her face in here in this bathroom.
Yes, Cotton. Janet
Yeah,
is
that's
pointing
smart.
out how the movies were better before the Me Too movement. Absolutely.
What am I doing?
You were pointing out how the movies were better before the Me Too got involved.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't mind. To me, it's stupid to make a woman good at everything because they aren't, and neither are men. I mean, I like seeing flaws in characters. You know what I mean? I think that's important because that makes it more realistic. I want a realistic movie. I want one that entertains me. So, but hi, Papa Cotton. I didn't see you in there. I'm sorry. I have I have the other page pulled over, and I'm trying to go through these photos. Oh, there you go. This is before she put the jacket on. But look how clean she is. And his jacket's all dirty, and he looks grungy, but she doesn't.
I mean, it's very neat saying. Like,
She
that guy
looks
has,
pretty.
there's one movie where he actually looks like he's respected, and that's
Mhm.
War Games. Every other film he's in, including the Avengers that I've
That's
seen,
right. He was in More Games. Are we going to do that movie too?
it's on the list,
Okay, good. I like it.
and sequel.
It's interesting to note that Warren Oates was supposed to be Brain, but because of an illness, he's like, "Hey, why don't you hire my buddy over here?" And the rest is history. And it worked
Yeah.
out well.
He did a good job for the nerd, that could come up with things. And that's what I tell people all the time. If we're ever forced to have to go back and live and survive without electricity and have to do things for ourselves, you better have a good skill, like in The Walking Dead, to be able to make bullets or grow food or some special unique, distill water. If you want to be up higher on the pedestal to be treated better, because you're needed. And if you don't have any skills, you're the one that's going to be, mopping the floors and cleaning the toilets or whatever. You're going to have a really lower job. So learn a skill like using a bow and arrow or something where you can go out and try to get something to eat or whatever. But yeah, I like that because to me, that's realistic when you have a hierarchy in there, depending on what your skills are and what you're able to do. But I was still surprised maybe it's because she didn't want anyone else in the movie. Remember when I said the Duke didn't have hot babes, sitting around him?
I'm sure he has hot babes.
But you didn't see any in the movie. You didn't see a single hot babe sitting by him, waiting on him, bringing him stuff, being his woman. He didn't have a woman to take care of him because maybe she didn't want to see any other good looking women in the movie.
Maybe
that she was in.
Well, in the opening scenes where Pliskin is sneaking around the rubble and he goes into that one area and the guys are tossing around that one drugged up chick who just looks like she's higher than a kite and not even there. And they were kind of handling her in a way that would be inappropriate for this time. It adds to the dystopian feel. Like, okay, maybe the women are in hiding if they don't have a strong man to help them out, or they don't go all Lizzie's and hole up in an apartment complex and do the whole
but
this is our castle type of thing.
Yeah, but what woman?
What do they do? They either got to go into hiding or they end up potentially cattle in a situation like that.
Well, the thing is, what woman in this scenario in New York City, they're trapped in there, wouldn't want to be the Duke's woman? He's the top dog. Every woman would be vying to be the best looking, wait on him, rub his feet, be a masseuse. I mean, do anything, cook for him. You see what I mean? Every woman. That's what would have been more believable to me if they had added.
If the man don't clean his junk down below, I don't think any woman's going to want to touch that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, women do a lot of things they don't really want to do, thinking that if they don't, they're not going to have a man.
You're saying the women took the role of the immigrants and they did the jobs that most white American males wouldn't do?
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, in the summer, I worked in a chicken plant. So I could make money to pay for my annual and other things like that because my parents didn't have a lot of money. So I worked every summer. And I didn't want to babysit and stuff like my other sister did because that's all she ever wanted to do. So I raked yards, I mowed, and I worked at a chicken plant. I did a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry, Cotton. I'm sorry, man. I know I went over the line there.
Oh, I think The Walking Dead is definitely realistic when it comes to what you think. Not with the zombies. Yeah, of course. I don't believe in that part of it. But the way you have to be able to take care of yourself and grow your own food and protect what you have. Because if you have a whole house full of stuff and you have water and you have food, stored food, canned goods, all this stuff, how long are you going to keep it if you're by yourself? You got to sleep. And other people know you got stuff, they're going to break in and kill you and take your stuff. So you have to have friends or family or other people to take turns tag teaming to protect what you worked so hard to keep, right? And that's why The Walking Dead to me is very believable, because you got to have manpower and woman power to protect what you might have. And when you go out and scouting and stuff to get, other food, you have to have people help you carry it back and protect the place when you're not there. So I don't know. I think it's realistic. What do you guys?
And explosives also help out too.
Oh, yeah, explosives and weapons, just like they had a person that could make bullets and stuff. And I told people that's a skill. Honestly, I mean, think about it. George Soros owns 11 ammo companies. And if enough people buy them up, where are we going to get bullets from? We'll have to be able to go out and collect our shells and keep refilling them and be able to make our own bullets. But if we don't have that skill or the gunpowder and other things that we're going to need, you're not going to last very long because you can't protect what you have. And they'll come in and take your kids, they'll take your spouse, they'll take everything and leave you for dead because you're not useful. You won't do what they tell you to, but your kids will grow up and do what they're told. And your woman will make them babies. You know what I mean? That's war. That's what happens. But that's why I like this. Oh. That's why I thought this movie was really good when it came to certain aspects. The whole thing is women were few and far between, but to see this wimpy guy, which is Brain, walking around with this gorgeous babe that's hardly wearing any clothes and not have to worry about anybody laying a hand on her, that was kind of hard to believe, especially if they didn't know who he was. You know, if they were just walking down the street and having to hide, they wouldn't know that he works for the Duke. You see what I mean? So there was a couple little things like that, but it was very small amounts of things that was sad. And at the end, when she ended up killing herself to get revenge for her man being murdered, being killed, that showed that she did care about him. Even though she was given to him as a gift, basically to keep him happy, she did care about him because she was willing to die for him. So I thought that was, really good redeeming quality for her. She was a good woman to him.
She tried.
Oh. There you go. That's his wife in real life at the time. But look at all that. Look at all the details in here. It's like they went and, just like they said, they went and they took dump trucks to the dump and brought all kinds of trash back with them and went through it to make it look like there were old relics and everything was broken down and interesting, stuff like that. But look at that. That looks like a thing that you'd drill oil with, doesn't it?
Yep.
Is that what it looks like to you?
Oil derrick in the background.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. And that was in Brain's home, in that big nice house he was in, or apartment or whatever, because they were in the city.
Probably an apartment or condo.
Yeah. So that reminded me, some of these scenes like this reminded me of Blade Runner, even though Blade Runner was made after this, because they used a lot of stuff that they repainted, backdrops and models of the city and stuff like that to basically reuse and save money when they did Blade Runner. So I thought that was very good how they did that.
Yes, I love Adrienne Barbeau. I think she's one of the best actresses from the 80s. Janet disagrees. She thinks she's just eye candy for lonely men.
Well, that's, I just don't think she's that good of an actress, but I didn't think Melanie Griffith was that good of an actress either. So did you?
Watch her in Creep Show.
Creep Show?
Yeah.
Yep, in Creep Show.
Okay.
She was great in Creep Show. She came off as a total bitch.
Yep.
Well, I wonder if she's like that in real life. You know what I mean? Or if she's fun.
Wasn't Creep Show a joint venture?
Somebody else.
Creep Show was a joint venture between Carpenter and Stephen King, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Creep Show Stephen King and John
George
Carpenter?
Romero as well.
I don't think Creep Show had anything to do with Stephen King, did it?
One of the stories was written by him, I thought.
Yeah. It was
we'd have to look it up.
The one with the asteroid. I forgot what it was called.
But I've only seen, the only other movie I saw with her in it was The Swamp Thing.
And that's a good movie.
Those are the only two movies that I've ever seen with her in it.
The Fog, Creep Show, because she was in the episode.
I don't really have a lot to compare, but I didn't think she was that good in this one. She just was not. She didn't do anything. She just ran around and
was the eye candy, basically.
That was it. So, I'm trying to be fair.
The director's wife got a bit part, and that was the bit part, basically.
Yeah.
But it's not to diminish her acting ability, because she did an excellent job in The Fog. That's another.
Well, Drew Barrymore, what Cotton Ministries is saying, Drew Barrymore got the part and kept staying in movies simply because she was cute and the director wanted her to be an ET. So basically, that's how she got her start. Not everybody gets that, that option to do that. And so she kept getting parts after that because she was a cute, adorable little girl in the movie E.T. So, I don't think Adrienne was a child actress, was she? She didn't get into it until she was older. Sorry, my nose keeps running. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. Oh, sorry, people, but my allergies are really bad. But Cotton Ministry says she's eye candy and excellent actress. So I think that's great. If you feel that's good. I'm happy for you guys.
Adrienne Barbeau started in a musical called Grease as Carol Trainer, and she was the divorced daughter of Maude Finlay on the sitcom Maude. And in 1980,
oh, really?
Yep, she was
She
on
was
Maude.
in that TV series. My mom liked Maude, I think, or my grandma did. One of them, because I remember somebody being on TV.
And then she did The Fog, and I don't know when she got married to John Carpenter, but she started her career with him.
I just talked about
Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
It says that she started her career as a go-go dancer working for the mob in New York City, and then she made her Broadway debut in the chorus of Fiddler on the Roof.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Adrienne Barbeau. And
was she also in like
her sister?
Oh yes, it does say that in the '60s she did that, and then she did the chorus.
Playboy?
What?
Wasn't she in Playboy too, a centerfold?
I think so. That was in the '80s, though.
I know, but I'm just asking. Wasn't she in Playboy?
Yeah, I think she was on the Playboy in the '80s. She did a cheesecake poster in '78. Mm-hmm. Joe Bob Briggs referred to as the two enormous talents on that woman. And she was typecast as a tough broad.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I just read it for the articles.
Skin.
Some really good articles in those mags.
Yeah, I wonder if he ended up with any bruises because of this scene, because he did say that he was getting roughed up by that huge guy that was beating the crap out of him with a bat. And those look like real bats. They didn't look like they were made out of foam or anything. And they sounded like real bats when they were
used real bats.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Cotton Ministries absolutely nails it. That's how we got Drew Barrymore and Gal Gadot. Man, I can't wait. Can't wait for Gal Gadot's fame to go away, because I've
only seen her in let's see, I saw her in two movies.
There's a video on YouTube.
Wasn't she in a movie with like Captain America or something?
She's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but she was in another movie with another superhero, wasn't she? Or not? I'd have to look it up.
DC Universe.
Well, I know she played Wonder Woman, but I was talking about in another movie that had nothing to do. It was a spy movie or something.
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, I think one of those movies had like The Rock in it and somebody else.
Yeah, something like that. It was a spy.
Chris Evans. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff really, because it's bleh.
And then to see him
on YouTube had done a video of Gal Gadot, and it was like a deep dive in the inability for her to actually act. Like, she has no real acting ability. She just has the model look. So
yeah, she's gorgeous.
If you notice, she's got all the close-ups and everything, but the actual acting ability is not there.
What was the actress that played Red Sonja?
Oh, that was
Bridget Nielsen,
right?
Yeah, Bridget Nielsen. Now, she was gorgeous too, Amazonian looking, and I didn't think she was that good of an actress, but
you're right.
The thing is that she didn't really have to be a good actress in that movie. You know what I mean? Because basically, she just had to beat the shit out of people. So,
her problem was that she got involved with everybody that she filmed with.
Well, honestly, if she was wearing a bikini with hardly any clothes on, a thong up her ass and everything, and she was bending over in front of you all day on a movie set, would you not want to have a relationship with her? as a man.
Don't ever show me the starfish. Not want me to go explore that deep sea dive.
Okay, well there you go. That's why she got, in relationships with everybody she made movies with.
Man, I want to go scuba diving.
She was really, really attractive, and so was Gal Gadot. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman, and I can see why a man would want to be with her. And the same thing with Adrian. She's built. I mean, I just didn't think she's that good of an actress, but I guess she's a better actress than a few other of these. Definitely better than Melanie Griffith. I just thought she was horrible.
I can't stand Melanie Griffith. I don't know why you always go back to Melanie Griffith, just like you always go back to fucking Willy's Wonderland. Like, I understand Willy's Wonderland, like you were there in a theater and there was nobody there to help you and console you.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But like
I laughed.
Melanie Griffith, like for some odd reason, you bring up this fucking trash harlot Melanie Griffith, and like we can walk away from those films. We don't have to watch those movies.
She's a horrible actress.
Like I give Melanie Griffith like 5 suitcases so she can leave the country. Like at 5 out of 5 suitcases.
Buy her a plane ticket.
Yeah, like get the fuck out. I can't stand her as an actress. She's the worst actress that I've. Did you ever see Working Girl? Did you ever watch that?
That's one of the reasons why.
I watched that movie because Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Trigger warning, everybody. Trigger warning.
But like I fucking cannot stand Melanie Griffith, and she's just a boring person. And I kind of feel sorry for Don Johnson, who worked with her, and that just seems like that was just rigged against him. He wasn't going to make out good on this, no matter what happened.
Didn't she also marry another famous actor after him?
Was it Antonio Banderas or no?
Yeah, Antonio. They had a daughter together. That's right. So she was able to get 2 famous actors to marry her. So she had something. I just don't know what it was. I guess
something,
she's hot,
and then she
or
went
she's
and got
good in
plastic
bed,
surgery, and now she looks like freaking what's his face? I can't think of his name. Damn it! He was in the Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Thank you. God.
This kid or this guy in this movie looks like. Remember Fright Night? The young guy that was his friend.
Mm-hmm.
That changed. Doesn't it look like him?
It does.
It looks a lot like that same actor. I wonder if they're related, because this guy's a lot older. I know, but in this one scene, that's what he looks like.
5.
Yeah, it looks like the same guy, but I don't think it is. I mean, I think this guy's like dead. He died like at 90 years old, didn't he? His last name was Flowers or something.
No, that was Buck Flowers, the guy that had the president's bracelet.
Oh, that guy. Okay, so that's not the same guy then. Okay, well, this guy, I looked him up because I was thinking he was related to that other kid, from Fright Night that made fun of Brewster all the time, him being a coward or whatever, and he ends up turning into a wolf or something. It was that one scene that he dies by the stairs. It was really, really gruesome. That was a really good scene, and he was a good actor. Well, what's so funny?
The fucking collector and the co-pilots just said, "Who won't die with 10 tons of hairspray pressing down his spine?"
Yeah, he did have a lot of hairspray, a lot of hair gel and stuff. He was really creepy. He's the one that creeped me out the most. This character, when he came out there with that finger and showed it to him, and he was just creepy. He was just gave me the willies. I can't. It's gross. It's really disgusting. But he did a good job, whoever he was, to play freaky. But that's what was weird. The Duke had this guy hanging around him all the time, but he didn't have any hot babes. I just thought, I was like, what's going on with this Duke? But it was interesting. So, or maybe Isaac Hayes' real wife didn't want him to have any real good-looking babes hanging around him in the movie or something. I don't know.
Or his safety.
Yeah. You might have one of those like hair trigger penises that just goes off, and
Well, I did hear that one guy had some hot babes with ginormous hooters or whatever, big giant knockers, and that when she turned really quickly, she poked him in the eye with her nipple or something, and he had to go. He had a scratch cornea or something. I don't remember what actor that was, but I remember somebody talking about it.
Janet talking about ginormous hooters. I'm just loving the.
Well, it was her
Right.
nipples are dangerous. You know, it's terrible.
Yeah,
So
keep the room
you
at
can't get
least
your
room
eye put
temp
out.
and not below, and you won't have that problem of like stray pasties or whatever.
Yeah, this
Swinging
scene
around.
right here.
Gray pasties.
Yeah, well, she didn't have pasties on that I knew of, but this scene was pretty awesome. The fact that he picks his chair up, and you can tell by looking at it, the legs are all messed up, you know, bent, and he picks it up and he sits down in it. And the fact that he sat down, but look at the trashiness. I mean, they did a good job at going and collecting crap and making it look like a rundown, you know, it looks like LA.
It almost
You know
looks
what I
like
mean?
LA.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it looks like San Francisco and LA pretty much now, right now,
I
today.
just need a bum to go take a shit on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
and
they
flip the
have
camera
a
off while they're
shit
doing
map. Do you know that, right?
What?
In real life, they have a shit map.
Yeah, they
you
do.
can get on there and see where there's shit in the street.
You open up your shit app,
Avoid it.
and like you mark it where the app is at on where's the shit on the app and the map, and here comes a shit man to later disinfect and clean up your sidewalk.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's pretty pitiful.
This is why we don't need Democrats in power.
I mean, look at this. I mean, they did but look at this set. They did a lot of work to try to make it look like a big rundown city everywhere they went. And it didn't look like they used the same street over and over again. You know, they did a good job at making it look different. Every set looked different, like it was a different place. And just like I said, there was a lot of extras in this movie, considering they only spent $6 million to make it. But the scene where they're driving the car and all the people come out of the, you know, everywhere, and they're beating on the car, and the scene right before he goes into the coffee shop and he sees his wife in real life, the coffee bean or something, whatever, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a lot of people running around in the street at that time too. So they had a lot of people in this movie.
Nuts.
Yeah, chock full of nuts. That's it. Yeah, the coffee shop. But see, that looks like he's really lighting that on fire. You know what I mean? Doesn't it to you?
Mm-hmm. That's not a stunt. That's Ernest Borgnine.
The real actor.
Let me show you what I learned in the Navy.
That you don't see that anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, they have insurance now, Janet, which would.
And look, he's got a real match in his hand. He's lighting it with a real match. It's just, you just don't see actual actors, especially someone as big as this one, doing that type of scenes. It's all CGI and stuff nowadays. So it's nice to see a movie that has actual actors. And I love her knife that she's got. I'm gonna have to order me one of these.
Punch dagger.
Yeah, that's really good. If I had that to walk to the car after when I got my groceries and I'm walking out to the car when I lived in Metairie and NOLA, I would have felt a lot safer. But I'd just stick my key, my car key in there, be ready to jab them in the throat.
You'd have to run around in a slinky dress that's tasteful yet revealing, and then get a garter belt so you can stick your punch dagger in it.
Maybe. I mean, I'd have to I don't know where I'd keep it, but if I was wearing that outfit, you'd have to carry it in your hand. But yeah, that's a beautiful outfit she's wearing. I like it. I like the color of it. And it looks comfortable. But you didn't see her doing any running. You know what I mean? She wasn't running, or she walked quickly, but she didn't run.
That dress won't allow running. I'm sorry.
But see, look at it. Look at all the props in here. I mean, there are so many props. When we were watching this scene, I was like, holy shit balls. Either this place that they picked for this to be his apartment for Brain, to have all the books and everything to look like he's always reading and working on things to try to stay up, one step ahead so that he could keep his position. I thought was really cool, and the fact they had all these, candles and stuff. But yeah, I just thought it was really, 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 really well done. The amount of detail that these, people for the sets and the prop department went through for these characters. Yeah, it was really good. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
For a 51-year-old script, it was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were slight changes here and there. Like, first it was dealing with Ford and the Iranian crisis and whatnot. And then, you got the whole Cold War vibe going on. Like nowadays, it would be, the CCP more than Russia.
Well, they were talking about the president having to be at a meeting, right, with two other world leaders or whatever. Can you guys remember what leaders they were saying they were going to meet?
Yeah, it was China and Russia.
Okay.
The
two other ones that normally have problems. Okay.
Communist countries, but wasn't until 91 that we lost, quote unquote, Russia, and it became the Federation.
Okay, there is one. There's a babe. There is a babe, but she's not scantily clad. That's probably why she didn't stand out as much. But yeah, he does have a babe that's rubbing his head and stuff. So I was wrong because I couldn't stop looking at this freak to pay that much attention. And plus, she had clothes on, so I guess that's one reason why I didn't really notice her. But
he was in Assault on Precinct 13, wasn't he?
I think so.
He was one of the gang members that did the blood oath, and then they went and attacked the precinct.
But this scene is when he's shooting at the president, and he was a pretty good shot because there was bullet holes all the way around him. But the gun never ran out of bullets. Did you notice that?
Too.
Do what?
It's an open bolt system too. The MAC-10. Like, you don't want to be doing precision shooting with a MAC-10. That's like, you got to get in a gunfight in a phone booth or something.
And this guy here, didn't you guys think it was kind of funny that he's sitting there playing with his hat, but he can't wear a hat with that hair? He never did put it on his head. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, he was a badass in this movie. Until he wasn't at the end.
From the Duke of New York to Chef.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought
I read
of that.
something yesterday about Isaac Hayes, and he'd gotten really sick right before his death. And so what happened was everybody thought Isaac Hayes came out and was bitching about South Park, but he was incapacitated and he wasn't able to speak. He wasn't able to make a statement. And so the Church of Scientology came out as Isaac Hayes, running through South Park and ripping them open. And that was when, right before they had that final episode with Chef malfunctioning. And it was kind of heartbreaking to read that because Isaac Hayes was kind of laid up, didn't have the ability to make a statement. Didn't have the ability to write it down. He was just kind of a vegetable at the point. And his son's writing all this information down on social media. I believe I read this yesterday, but it happened a few days back. And Isaac Hayes III said, like, whatever you may have heard about my father's death, he didn't have any problem with anybody he worked with. That was the church that wrote that, and I apologize. I wish I could have came out sooner on this, but I'm now an adult and I can say these things. So, I mean, if that's the honest to God truth, I mean, that's awesome. And I want to believe that is the truth because Isaac Hayes seemed like a really good guy.
Yeah, I loved him. I loved him in pretty much everything I've seen him in. He's a good actor. You know what I mean? So, and he did a good job in this movie. So, and that's what I expect. I want to be entertained. I want to believe that that person is that person that they're pretending to be in the movie. And just little subtle things that can happen, like the earring. It just took me away from his character, because when I first saw him and he's talking, he's turned sideways to the camera, and he's believable as a badass government agent person that's doing something, and he's gonna have Snake Plissken come in and do something. But then he turned sideways, and I see his earring, and I was like, oh, it just took the air out of it for me. It just, after that, I just couldn't get back up there to thinking he's some badass that knew Snake Plissken and probably worked with him in the past in the government or whatever. But it just was hard to, I don't know, for me. But
Damn it!
Once
So
got
while
that,
you guys are talking about Isaac Hayes and everything,
yeah,
earlier you had the theme song of this movie stuck in my head. Awesome soundtrack, but I couldn't get it out of my head.
mm-hmm.
And then while we're talking about Isaac Hayes, and I'm reading the comments here in the chat, I
Yeah.
start getting the theme song of Shaft stuck in my head.
Yep.
Like, damn it.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, that would have been really cool. The hairstyle, yeah, I can't help it. But I like this scene, when he had that, when he was walking down the hallway and you saw the snake on his stomach. I was like, whoa, okay, now I know why they call him Snake. I thought that was funny. But I think he is very attractive. To me, the most attractive I've ever thought he was in when he was the soldier in that one movie. I can't remember the name of the movie right this second. Something Soldier.
Did you say Soldier?
Is that what it was called?
Soldier.
Is he the
Yes.
silent soldier that drops on a planet?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought he
the
was
Soldier.
really good in that. With his haircut and everything. Within the other movie, I thought he was hot and sexy. Was the Thing, when I finally got to see him in that, and I thought he was real attractive in that one too. So I can like a guy with a lot of hair, and I can like a guy that's got a military uniform on, and a nice haircut. So but he's a manly
Kurt
man.
Russell is an attractive man. No homo.
Yeah, he looks virile, like he could he knows what he's doing. That's what he looks like to me.
Toxic masculinity.
And
at
it's
its
not
finest
too
right
big.
there.
My eye always goes to a man that's like, Hugh Jackman build, it's kind of medium build, I guess. I've never thought, my sister Sandy thinks men like that look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, that kind of build, and The Rock are really hot. She just thinks all those kind of guys. And I've never thought that was very attractive. It's just something about us go, he's okay. But, I don't know. It's just some women like that and other women did not. I don't like a guy that has so many muscles that he can't even put his arms down. You know what I mean? Or something. I don't know. Just does nothing for me. So there's women out there for every man, I guess. Every man can have a woman, because we attracted to all different types, just like you men are. Some men like butts, some men like legs, and other men like boobs. Right? Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely right. Can't complain about a good set of hips, nice set of tits, and great legs.
That's right. You can't. You just got to feed her.
Yeah.
Oh, I just now realized they were church pews they were sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really notice that in the movie when I was watching it, but in this scene right here, you can definitely tell. It's a good shot.
I miss Harry Dean
And then
Stanton.
3
He
years
was in the
later-
Rock and-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and 3 years later, he ends up in Red Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's the father in the concentration camp.
Yeah.
Avenge
Yeah.
me. Most badass quote.
See, there's a good shot of cleavage. Oh, I don't know what. Oh, I guess this is when the plane's gonna
That's
fall off
the
the
guide are
building.
getting ready to be pushed off the edge.
Yeah, I remember that now. I remember this shot. Is what I mean. That look how cool that is. I mean, look at the city down below. That looks very high up. They did a good job at doing that.
Cotton, I agree. I'm just happy if she has a vagina these days.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it scary? I feel sorry for you, a lot of you guys. Even before all the transgender stuff started coming out, I remember seeing was a couple of I think it was on Instagram. There was a couple of models on there, and they had like 400,000 followers, and I don't remember if it was Sandy or someone shared couple pictures of this one, and I was like, wow, she's really pretty. And she goes, it's a he. And I went, huh? So I went and looked, and they had spent all this money getting ribs removed and boobs put in, and their Adam's apple like shaved off and all that stuff. And I was like, well, hell, I could look damn good too if I had money to be able to afford to do all that surgery. But most people don't have $400,000 to spend to look that way to be able to get jobs as a model, and that's what this person did. They were from like some European countries, Switzerland or somewhere like that, and they were gorgeous, but they didn't have the parts that you'd be born with, look that way.
It's difficult nowadays because, like, back in the 80s, you pull a Mick Dundee and you can tell whether they're a Sheila or a man. But now with all the surgery and stuff, it's like,
yeah.
See, on the dating
you're
scene,
gonna have to go back to doing the DNA test
and look for XY chromosome compatibility.
Yeah, you'd have to do a DNA test to get married, have a blood test now. Because I remember my mom said they had to have blood tests when they got married. And I was like, why? I didn't understand that. But
you got zombie bonus holes and weird dingly bits. Yeah.
Scary. I do. I feel bad for my guy friends today because it's like, what? I could see women in the bathroom and some of them look manly, but they still look like a woman. But I don't know. I'd be really worried because to me, it's going to be really hard for a woman that's transitioning to be a man to come approach me and me not have, pretty easily be able to say, this doesn't look normal or something. And especially if they undress, I would definitely know. But today for you guys, if they had enough money to spend on it, you guys would have a really hard time. You'd have to have a DNA test on some of these really, really expensive ones to be able to tell the difference. So good luck with that, guys. Feel sorry for you. But maybe you wouldn't care if she looked that good. You wouldn't have to worry about getting pregnant. But look at that. This was that. You said it was James Cameron that did the...
He was one of the matte painters. I don't know if he did specifically this matte painting, but the one where the helicopter's zooming underneath the bridge. Yeah. That matte painting he did.
But this scene where it wasn't this dark. You remember it was a little lighter. It was like the next day, I guess, when the sun was starting to come up, and they showed that one scene where they're working their way back to the towers, and it had the clouds a little bit behind it and stuff. I was like, oh, look how pretty, because it looked like the real Twin Towers to me in that one picture. And they did take some shots from New York to edit in. And it was just nice to see it because that's something we're never going to see again in movies unless they CGI it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it was used to be so impressive and how beautiful that was.
You know, I wonder if what I wonder is if in like 50 or 70 years when I'm not here anymore, thank God.
Yeah.
But is there going to be like a movement of retro crazed Zoomers or betas or alphas or whatever they call themselves? They're like, nope, we have to demolish the Freedom Tower and we're going to rebuild the original Twin Towers, and they're just going to like repeat shit all over again.
No, I don't think so. that'd be too
Well,
expensive.
I hope if,
But
if
look
we
at
get
this.
that far
Look
into
how
the future,
realistic this looks.
it'll be like Cyberpunk 2020 with the poser gangs.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to be like the Gilligans or the JFKs or we're going to be the Pliskins.
But look at the detail in
It'll be
this
cool like
scene
that,
right
but
here.
I doubt it.
Look how much work they did to make sure this looked like a rundown. I mean, look at the building. See the building, the tiles falling off, and they did a good job. The location guy that went around looking for places, trying to visualize what it would look like with trash and cars and stuff everywhere. It did a good job at finding the good buildings to be able to do this. The sets
It's
for
small in
this.
St. Louis. I mean, it wasn't like they had to travel far.
Mm-hmm.
They had a giant fire in the early to mid 70s, and like even Union Station got shit canned. And you guys see the Union Station set later where they filmed at Union Station when it was like not repaired yet.
Yeah. But look at him. He looks like he's been through the ringer. I thought he did a good job at looking like someone who was beaten down. And he was humbled until the other two people were trying to help him. And every time they would get involved, then he would be all like snotty. You know what I mean? So I thought he did a good job for this character for his character arc, to be humbled because of the situation. Like at the very end when he's saved and you see him pull the machine gun out and start shooting the Duke, because he's mad at him for what happened to him. Like somebody in this position that's used to having everything they need or want and not having to worry about bad things happening to them because they're president. They're surrounded with Secret Service and all that kind of stuff. But I thought he did it pretty good.
I like Donald Pleasance. That start of the movie, I was really, after watching a lot of other films he's been in, I was kind of sad that he didn't have a little cat in a wheelchair.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But this was hilarious. See, to me, this looked like something that you would throw together, with whatever you had to try to make your vehicle stand out compared to everyone else's, especially since you have gas and it can run. And
I mean, the fact that you have some very nice chandeliers mounted above the headlamps.
This is something you'd see in Watsonville. Somebody can't afford to work on his car proper.
Yeah. So what was one of you guys' favorite parts of the movie?
The glider scene for practical effects, because it wasn't digital, but you look at it and it was realistic.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
Like one of these scenes?
Like when you're looking through the viewer of the glider and you're looking at what is basically a miniature version of Manhattan. And it's actually
look at this
literal miniature.
That's a practical effect right there.
I know. Amazing.
That is not a CGI. That is practical. They painted everything black and then they've got green tape or marked it green.
Mm-hmm.
But that is an effect they filmed in a set. That is not CGI. That is fucking amazing.
I know, man. That is detail that you just don't see. You will not see this in anything. That's why when you got me to watch that one movie, Darkness Rising, Gamers Darkness Rising, I adored that movie. It was so good to see so much of this in that movie. The purple long johns, every little thing that they went over and above to do practical effects for that movie. I just love that. And I really wish we could do more to get young people to be interested in movies, to see that you could do this right here. What we're looking at right here, you don't have the money to do computer stuff. Look what these guys did. with black paint and tape. And then they just went over it real slow with their camera, and you could see, it looked like they were going in and out, up and down over that. And then it was wonderful. I mean, it did really, and I thought all these years that this was done with a computer. I am impressed. This is one of my favorite things that I learned that I didn't know, trivia-wise.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because my dad was looking for John Dykstra's work to be in the credits of this movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was practically done until today. Still learning about this filming and all these people, but I really enjoyed this scene. My favorite scene is probably the tense scene on the bridge that they filmed on the Chain of Rocks bridge as they're trying to get across to mainland. And Cabby, God rest his soul, he passes away there. But that's probably my favorite scene, right before Adrienne Barbeau turns into a vengeful person. I love that scene. That's probably my favorite in the whole movie. Because it's down to Wyatt, either you take it across or you don't.
Well, yeah, and that was smart for them to do that.
An hour and a half before the bombs go off.
Yeah. Good. But my favorite scene and favorite line in the movie was the part where he's interviewing or asking or basically telling Snake Plissken what he wants him to do. And then he's like, why? You know, why would I do it? And he's like, we want to get the president out. And then he said, well, what are we supposed to do? And he goes, get a new president. I just love that line. I absolutely love it. As iconic for me for this movie. And that shows his total attitude of how he looks at things after what he was been through.
Yeah.
Serving in the military. So I just love it. To me, that's one of my very favorite.
I mean, he's already been shown that the government can't be trusted.
Yeah. And they did it to him again. And I love the fact that he gave him a big FU at the end when you hear the president take the cassette and they put it in there and he said, this is how we're going to do it. And the music starts playing. That's one reason why I don't know how they would have done it differently. I guess they could have done it with with one of the little computer things to stick into the flash drives. But I just thought that was great. And him walking away and taking the real cassette and tearing it up and just tossing it. He gave him a big FU. And I love that. I love the way that came up on the ending. So yeah, those are two of my favorite
things.
Talk
about your war or your president. That's got to be one of the most iconic quotes of this film because it sums it up so succinctly.
Yeah, and that's where we are right now.
He's done that. He's gotten screwed over. And so he doesn't give a shit about the government or the president or none of
fucked
it.
Up.
Yeah.
Zero fucks given.
I wish that the sequel was good. I do not enjoy watching the sequel. I know there's parts of the sequel that are great, like the president's daughter's ass. But
are you talking about Escape from LA?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. Well, I really liked that one too. We'll have to do it too to watch it.
It's probably my least favorite out of the Carpenter flicks, but
no, that'd be Dark Star. Dark Star is my least favorite. Star.
I haven't seen that. See, look at him. He looks just like that. He could be the dad of that kid that was in Fright Night. I'm sorry. I just cannot stop saying that. I know.
Well, it's focusing on Brewster.
Yeah, he does look like Brewster's dad. Or Brewster's best friend's dad.
So
Evil Eddie.
I want to say that I hate Escape from LA more than Dark Star, but Dark Star for the fact that like they even released it and it just wasn't included as a freebie instead, which is really what it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's probably my least favorite.
One of those midnight showing type movies. Like if you can,
you can watch that right.
Friends, get a little lit.
Yeah, get a little drunk and then watch that right before you watch Pink Flamingos. Hell yeah!
I haven't seen Dark Star.
We're gonna watch it in 2 weeks, Janet. Don't worry.
Well, I haven't seen that one yet. But yeah, this whole I love this jacket. I mean, it's very worn, leather jacket. And I love the jacket he wore in The Thing. It was an older bomber jacket or whatever type jacket. I just love this look on this person. This
He's
actor.
missing the sombrero hat.
Well, I know, but that looked cool too. But what I mean is not a lot. Him and I was talking about him this morning. The Sam Elliott, he looks good like this, with the long hair, and he's scruffy. He has the air about him to be able to pull it off. You know what I mean? And so does Kurt Russell.
I'm just glad you and him never met. You would have brushed by Kurt Russell and you would have been pregnant again.
Probably.
I mean, Jackie Blue, probably the same thing.
Maybe. Yep. She thinks he's attractive in lots of his movies. But the thing is, when I'd never heard of Hugh Jackman, and Sandy had said, you're going with me. We're going to go watch this movie. And I'm like, what is it? She said, it's called Swordfish. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I went with her. And when I saw that scene of him hitting the golf balls off the top of his trailer wearing that towel out there, it's got Halle Berry in it too, so you could see her boobs and everything. But I was like, damn. I looked at him different after that. So it was a good movie. That's another movie we could do. It's a good movie.
Went from
You gotta watch Sky
gym
High
teacher
first.
to a freaking movie star, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he did good. It was great. But this was a good movie. It was very well done. Great acting. The storyline wasn't boring. The set designs, I don't know. I just thought there's very little in this movie that I didn't like. You know what I mean? Very subtle, small little things, and that's all. Even though, how old is it now? 30 years old? Is that what you said?
It's 34,
45.
45 years old?
44 years old.
Oh,
Oh, I was
44
gonna say,
years.
holy shit, I
Almost
didn't know
45.
Kurt Russell was that old. But yeah, I think it's held up really well. The only thing that stood out to me basically was the cassette, that the president had a cassette. Having a cassette out there in New York being all run down, it wouldn't have been so shocking. But when he had that cassette in his briefcase, that's, to me, I went, oh, it should have been something more futuristic if they were going to be doing it in the future. Something newer, or different. But besides that, I thought it was really well done. I mean, look up.
Deleted
Not
scene.
looking up, and look how worn. They did a good job at scuffing up the walls, and look at the ceiling. It's got paint hanging down. The detail is just awesome. The director has a good eye. You could definitely tell the director looks at everything when he's looking through the lens, not just the characters and what they're wearing, but the scene they're sitting in or walking in, the details in it. And to me, that makes a good director. They're making it for entertainment, and they're trying to make it to where you stay in the movie, because there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to, pull you out of it and take you away from the characters and stuff. So I thought it was great. And this was the scene for the fight, right? When he said he's going to have his head on a pole in the front of his,
on the front of the car.
Yeah, in the front of the car when he's leaving the city or whatever. Yeah, that was a good scene. Very good.
I don't know. I really enjoy this movie. I think this movie survives really well, but you have to look at it at the point where it was written and then at the point when it was released. And notice there's like 6 years of space between those 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
The nation was already starting to heal up from things. We didn't really get on our feet till like 83 or 84. The economy was kind of in crap condition back in the 70s, and it didn't really improve until the 80s for us in the Midwest. And we weren't even working in agriculture. We were doing other stuff. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just saying cocaine kind of helped.
Yeah, cocaine, right? Yeah.
That influx of cash. But I was going to say, the DVD with the deleted scenes. You can kind of see where the dystopian vibe really shines, because like they got the whole scene where he's robbing the Federal Reserve, and instead of stacks of cash, it's like these little credit cards. I guess different denominations or something. And that's a little bit dated, but it's kind of a cool scene. So if you get your hands on the deleted scenes, or you go on YouTube and check them out, it'll show you a little more depth of the movie. It also has a deleted scene where one of his partners in crime ends up getting plugged, and that's what he's getting arrested for in this film. And
Well,
then
there
there's
you go.
mention of another heist
Right here.
that
The plane doesn't look that small in this
plane.
picture.
They had to
Yeah.
break that plane up into 3 separate spots and ship it in at night. They didn't have the ability to get permits initially for that, so they just kind of dropped it in location.
But it looks pretty good.
Mhm.
It looks, I mean, they did a good job. Visually, it's very visual. It's a very visual movie with so much. You can't watch it once. You have to watch it multiple times to absorb so much stuff. It's just like the Blade Runner. There's so much in it visually. It's impossible to see all of it. And you miss so many things just to absorb what you see in every scene, the details of it. And to me, that's a really good director that wants to do that.
It's kind of ironic too that it's such a visual film, because it's done mostly in the dark. It's nighttime with a handful of scenes that have sunlight.
Well, the good thing
Like
about
Ellis
it,
Island, and then the helicopter scene.
but
Is all that I
the
can
part
recall.
where
I've seen this like dozens of times.
where Bruce was telling everybody about them turning off 10 blocks of electricity at night so they could film. That added to the realism of it, because remember, he had to do this in a certain amount of time. He only had so many hours to be able to go in and get the president and bring him out with the tape. Okay, so I wonder what would have happened. I guess they would have said, they don't care about the president. They didn't have the tape or something. I don't know. But the thing is that that's how they were able to get away with it being dark, because it's only hours going by, not days, for him to go through and get all the things he needs to be able to find the president. And when he found the one guy being beat up, that had the wristband on, I thought that was hilarious. I don't know. I just, just little things like that were interesting, the way that they had it set up. But I just thought, like, that's a lot of work just to show a plane crash in a city, to be able to have it look that good. I mean, look, the way the lighting and stuff is, it looks like there's fire in here still somewhere on the backdrop of this side of the plane. And just like you said, they had to bring in 3 different giant trucks, bringing in the parts to put it in here and lay it down to make it look like it had crashed from some old plane that they were able to find. That's a lot of work to do that detail. And remember, they only had $6 million to spend.
Which was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it was, but it's still, compared to people spending $300 million today for a movie, it's shocking how good they did with how many people were in this movie, all the costumes, all the set design. I mean, it's just so much in here. It's shocking to me.
I'm thinking, like, when I was working swing shift like 20 years ago, so like, I might go in to work at like 10 and I'll work till 6 a.m. If I have enough energy, I'll go hit up breakfast at the local diner or what have you, and then I'll just sleep the rest of the day away. And then as the sun's setting, I'm going to work. So I can feel their pain having to work at night or very limited daytime, because it just throws off your internal clock and everything. And then having to set up all the light and everything at night and doing all that work in the dark with limited lighting, like, that's a huge pain in the ass. And I'm sure, like, during the day they could set up some things, but you can't really do any real production until nightfall, anyhow. So
Yeah,
having to
but
do
see,
that
look
in
at
the
this
dark for
scene.
2.5 months, it came out
Look at this
great.
scene during the daytime compared to what it looked like in the movie. When
Yeah,
it was dark and they only had the subtle lights and the candles and the few small lights that they had because there's no light, and it was at nighttime. It's amazing. I mean, the difference of what you get to see in the movie compared to what everybody saw walking around while they were filming. You see what I mean? Until they turned the lights off and stuff to make it look like it was night. It's pretty awesome, and that just shows you. Like I always say, that I like a movie where everyone making the movie wants this movie to be a success, because if they do, they're all going to work together hand in hand to do the best job they can, editing, all the way down to the music, everything, to make the movie good for us. And when they care enough about the viewer, the movie is going to be good. It's going to be a well-made movie because there's enough people working on it to make sure it's successful. And the story comes across to us the way that they visualize it. And they care enough about the characters, things to make sure they're dressed in the, every detail is to make us believe the story. And I love movies where I feel like the director and the writer, and all the other people fell in line to say, okay, we're all going to do this, that, and the other, whatever it takes to make this what we see, what we visualize. And I feel like this movie was that. And I think that's one reason why John Carpenter works so well with the same writer on multiple movies and the same actor, main actor or whatever, and stuff, because he fulfills what his vision of what he's trying to give us, the viewer. And to me, it's worth it. I'll pay a little extra money to see a movie that I feel like the director and the rest of the team worked hard to show me something good and entertain me for 2 or 3 hours. And to me, that's worth it. Definitely worth it. Which it's getting harder and harder and harder to, to find that in movies today. At least that's how it seems to me. Yeah, a lot of these now just looks like repeats over and over again from different people, putting them in there.
like Klapperschlager.
Yeah,
Like butchered in
from
German.
different countries now. But here's another shot of them doing setting the plane up and everything else to give us that view of how it looks like a real crashed plane and it broke apart.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who this woman is, but yeah. So what are you guys going to rate this movie?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I give it a 99.9 because of nostalgia, of me growing up watching the shit out of this and always finding something new. Like today when I was looking through IMDb,
Yeah.
he obviously based his voice, Kurt Russell based the voice of Snake Plissken off of Clint Eastwood. You can get that in the opening scene when he's getting interrogated. But he also had Bruce Lee, so I guess like maybe his stringy buffness, because he is pretty well toned. The martial arts, quote unquote, combat abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Because when those guys jump him from behind, when he creeps up on that dude at the campfire in one of the burned out buildings, they all jump him and he quickly takes care of them. Then there was the Exterminator, which, he's a vigilante veteran going on a rampage and in a tore up city, except he had a flamethrower in that. And then he also based his character off of Darth Vader. So I'm thinking maybe his ruthlessness and I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm going to do it my way, and it's going to happen my way, type of thing. So yeah, that was a cool little bit of trivia. I was like, oh yeah, I can see that in various parts of the movie. So yeah, I can't give it like 100% because there's got to be that small percentage of little nitpicks and whatnot. And
Well, you can still give it a 10 out of 10.
It's in my top 5. You know, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough because I also like Bruce Campbell, so like, you know, I'd throw in Evil Dead.
Yeah.
In that, and then you know, probably Tombstone would be the 5th.
Have you guys seen any of the movies, one of these versions with the outtakes and stuff and the bloopers? Is there one?
Yeah, it was the collector's edition, I think, DVD.
I haven't seen it. I would like to because this looks like they had fun. You know what I mean? Looks like they had a good time making this movie.
Yeah, there was the special edition, the collector's edition.
But look at that.
I'm not sure if the Blu-ray, we never did get it in Blu-ray.
That is amazing.
That
Yeah,
looks like fun.
that's what I'm talking about. Like,
It really does.
the practical effects in this are just freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, for 1981, not being done with Skywalker Ranch, this is fucking amazing.
Oh my God. I know, isn't it? Just phenomenal. And how much fun it must have been
like that.
to do that.
A 3,000 square foot gaming table.
Yeah, that would be freaking fun.
Detail.
It's nice. I mean, look at that.
No, the remake of this movie has to have Rachel Ziegler and Pedro Pascal, and who's the other boring ass fucking twat that the CIA is putting in Hollywood right now in every fucking movie?
I don't know.
It's a brown.
There
person.
he is. There he is painting.
There's James Cameron painting up the mat.
Wow, he's a good artist.
Future Aliens director James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a good visionary. He really is.
Amazing.
We just need to have a remake of this with Rachel Ziegler and Pedro Pascal, and we'll have a white guy be the cabbie because he dies early. You know, just absolute garbage fire.
We could have Whoopi Goldberg as Snake Plissken. How's that?
Yeah,
she could be the Duke.
Oh no, the Duke has to be someone different than black, but not white. Because
can't have white. Can't have white people. No whites. Is this made by Disney? Absolutely no whites. Yeah, Pedro creeps me out too. The guy, he's in everything, but he's got zero talent. Like he couldn't even. They're talking about one
guy. In that, God, what was it? It was on Netflix. It was that. No. It was that cartel. They were going after Pablo Escobar. That first series, I was like, oh, this wasn't too bad. Like,
are you talking about Narcos?
Narcos, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, let's see him in some other stuff. And then it was like, just got progressively worse.
I never liked him. I've always thought he's forgettable.
Yeah, and then he started opening his mouth, and it made it worse. And then his opinions started spewing out like sewage.
But look at this.
Like,
look at this ratings bar. It says users, but look at it. I mean, that's pretty good ratings for being 2025, and for it to have this high ratings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm biased as fuck with my ratings.
Yeah, I'm going to rate it higher than these people, but What's your rating, Bruce? What are you going to rate the
I'm
movie?
going to give this movie a 91% because a lot of it succeeds even today.
Hmm.
And even though the script is a little bit dated, it's definitely a relic of its time. I can understand how the director felt about a lot of things because we were in that exact same spot where we were just stuck in a malaise between 2008 to 2016, and then again in 2020 to 2024, where we had no voice.
Yeah.
And I just felt, I felt the rage that John Carpenter did. You know, I mean, I didn't write They Live Part 2 or anything. I didn't do anything great, but I can understand his frustration with everything. So I just, I got to give this movie a 91%. The special effects are fantastic. The trickery on camera in camera effects is fantastic.
Hmm.
Even the weak link, Adrienne Barbeau, who is not a plank of wood, but she's really not a great actress, but she's good for what she does.
Hmm.
And that's all I really fucking ask. Like, if I just need a receptionist to say hello, trans radio, Melanie Griffith could sit there and say that, and then she's not going to have the camera focused on her much longer. She gets 4 seconds of screen time and off to Sigourney Weaver, and now we have an actress and a script, and now it all comes together. Adrienne Barbeau says about 30 lines in this movie. Most of them deal with Brain, and it's a very limited focus for her character because her focus is, I got to take care of Brain. I was given to him because Brain does good for the Duke. And even though she's very limited on what she does things so well, and she's a plot point at various parts in this movie. And I really appreciated her. Donald Pleasance, he should have had a wheelchair and a cat with him, but okay. He's the president. And it was fun to watch him in this movie. Even poor Donald Pleasance getting beat up. Man, when he gets marked up and black-eyed, I felt sorry for the old man. And I just think this movie has so many good moments in it. The fight between Ox and Snake. Then you have the chase down the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which that was one of the few times in its career in recent memory where they had vehicle traffic on it. It used to have vehicle traffic on it. There's a 22-degree bend in that bridge where they were having trouble where semis would get to the bend and they'd rub against each other and wreck. And so they had to stop that. So now it's a bike and pedestrian bridge. But they bought this bridge for $1, leased it from the government for $1, and then they decorated it up. They did all the fire, the shooting of it, and it looked so good. And then at the end of the filming, when they took all the props off, they sold it back to the government for $1. And John Carpenter is quite a good director. He knows how to do good photography. His director of photography, I got to talk about this guy.
Yeah.
I'm getting to it.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you locked up or something.
No, I'm waiting for my phone to catch up with me. No, I'm not trying to sign in IMDb. Okay, so Escape from New York. And there's one other thing I want to talk about because I don't think it's as big as a deal as other things. But Escape from New York, there's a character in this movie that really, like we've talked about it, we've touched on it. The character is the city itself. And everything about this city looks accurate. It looks so good. And the director of photography of this film did everything possible within his wheelhouse to make it look like this is our future. This is what we have to look forward to. Not the Atari 5200, not dial-up internet. We're going to have shitty fucking living. And if you can't afford to leave the island, you're going to be stuck here with the crazies and the dopers and the druggies. And of all things, this damn thing is not pulling up. Let me see if I can find the Escape from New York Wikipedia. Okay, so the director of photography of this was Dean Cundy. Dean Cundy is, well, he's 79 now, but this guy had a lot of low budget films under his belt. And then he met Deborah Hill, and she was already working with John Carpenter on Halloween. She brings him in, and he brings a flair to John Carpenter's work. This is the guy that helped with all of what you see in this movie. Dean Cundey kept going after that, and eventually he started working with Robert Zemeckis and did some work in horror genres. And he's best known for the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's the director of photography for Who Framed
well,
Roger Rabbit.
I want to do that movie.
That guy,
That was
Dean
awesome
Cundey,
movie, too.
is why this movie looks so fucking excellent.
Hmm.
Okay, because he gave New York a character role in it that it's almost a starring role. It is almost the main thing you focus on is everything, all the grime around Snake Plissken, all the
Yeah.
shit that everybody's sitting in filth and squalor. It looks so good, and it still looks good today in 2025. And I
Mhm.
got to say, that's why I give this movie a hearty 91%. The only problem I have with this movie is the very end fight with Duke and Snake is about 4 punches in a small grappling session, and then up the rope we go, and then the president comes in clutch and kills
Yeah.
the Duke.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't for the president, Snake would have been toast. But he saved Snake's ass. And at the end of the film, Snake kind of pisses me off because he's like, "Oh, we had a lot of people die trying to get you out of New York. I want to know how you feel. What do you have to say about that?" And the president's like, "Well, I really appreciate their sacrifice." He really doesn't have a whole lot more to say. You know, I mean, I've got to go on in like 30 seconds, Snake. I appreciate what they did. Thank them for me, but there is things ahead that, like, if you want to be part of something, I can help you. I can
Mhm.
put you to work. I can make you something more than what you are today. And Snake is just kind of pissy and all that. And if it wasn't for the fucking president squeezing that round off, a couple of rounds off into the Duke, we wouldn't have Snake Plissken. But instead, he's kind of cunty about it. And I kind of feel like they do, a good job with making Snake Plissken a failure of a man, a flawed hero. He does sell that job very well. The other
Mhm.
thing I want to talk about, it kind of drags the movie down a little bit because there's a reboot or a sidequel in this movie series, not Escape from LA, but 2012's Lockout with Guy Pearce and Maggie Grace.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was the orbital prison, and
yeah, like
What's the
it-
name of that one?
Lockout with
I haven't seen
Guy
it.
Pearce and Maggie Grace. It is not a good movie. Nick Castle's got his prints all over it, but John Carpenter was pretty much pissed off about this movie because he wasn't really part of it, but it's supposed to be kind of a reboot, sidequel of this.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter made money off of Lockout, and so he scored some money out of him in court. If you see Lockout, skip it. It's not that good. It really is not. It's got good B movie one-liners.
it's got catch lines, and I like Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, but I do like him, and his character does show a little bit of Pliskin one-liners and whatnot. You
A
can
lot.
it's like the Temu version of Pliskin.
It's the Temu version
And that's
of
not the
Escape from LA.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like, if you thought Escape from LA was a good movie and you want to see another Escape from LA, there's Lockout. But when you watch it, you just kind of like end up shutting it down after 92 minutes when the movie's end credits are on, and you're like, that wasn't that good.
Oh. But you want me to watch it?
No,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
want you to remain pure, Janet. I have to save you for Willy's Wonderland sequel.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. But so you're giving it a 9.1. Is that what you said?
A 91% out of 100. It is a good movie. It is a fantastic film. It's withstood the test of time. It's really just every man should sit his son down and say at some point you're going to be disappointed in the world around you.
Yeah.
This is a movie that was written when the script writer, the director, was disappointed in our world, and I think you might enjoy this. And that's how I would tell my son about this movie, because that is exactly the type of explanation a good man would tell his son. Like, we're going to watch a movie, and before we watch it, it is a movie that's very important to me because I've watched it so many times. I've watched it more times than I've spent with your mother, but it is a film that I can tell you, you'll go back to this movie and watch it because you'll feel like the main character does. At some point, you will.
Yeah, this is in the vein of those 70s anti-heroes like Dirty Harry and freaking Charles Bronson
Paul Kersey
doing Death Wish and whatnot. Yeah, like
Mhm.
it's got that undertone to it. It's a product of its time, but it has aged like a fine wine.
Oh
really
yeah,
has.
I would definitely say that. This is a movie that honestly, um, I hope they never try to make it again. At least not while anybody who's seen the original is still alive. They have to
Right,
watch.
you wouldn't
They
want to
did try to
have
make
a
an anime.
Fedor.
Well,
And I would
anime is
totally
not
watch
the
the
same.
anime.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the same thing when you make it in anime, but I'm gonna give it a 9.8 out of 100. But I think it's a phenomenal movie. It's one of my favorite in my top 20 movies of all time. Everybody already knows what my number one is. Like, I'm sorry, I'm an Air Force brat, so a military brat. So that's why I'm gonna always pick that movie over any
What's
other.
your favorite movie, Janet?
Right.
The
Right.
Great Raid, remember? But the thing is, it's got everything you need in it. It's, if you love action, it's in there. It's got drama in there. It's got sci-fi in there. I mean, it's just got, it's like mixed up everything and made it into a wonderful movie that has something for everyone. I think, at least that's how I feel. I've watched it. What was it? How many times did I say? What, 14, 15 times, but it's been a while since I got to watch it because we've been doing so many other things and watching so many other movies. And I forgot how much I loved it. You know what I mean? You sit down and watch it and you go, damn, I can't believe I waited this long to see it again because it's so entertaining. It's got everything in it. I just love almost all the characters, and I love to hate a few of them, but the everything about the scenes when you're going through it, it's almost like you're there in some of the scenes. It's really very real. I mean, I'm glad I'm not going to, like, LA in real life or New York and having to walk amongst the streets, because I'm sure I've seen videos of the tent cities and some of the things, and it looks as bad as that. So it's very believable for any young person who's never seen this to watch it and feel like this could be the future. You know what I mean? In reality, just from watching the news at night from New York and from Washington State or Oregon or California, there's so many things in this to me that it could be right now. I mean, it sounds terrible, but it's so funny. The funny aspect for me for this movie was that it wasn't supposed to be in 1997. It's just amazing that we are, in some aspects, exactly where this movie is at in the way that things are being done. And that's scary. So I hope a lot of people that watch this movie, if they decide to watch it, can watch it and think about, do we want this type of thing to be our future? Is this what we want? I don't. And we're going to, if we can do something and work together, maybe we won't end up with a future like this. And I think that is the point of view that I get from watching this movie and the vision of the director also being one of the writers, hoping that we don't get there. Because when you watch a documentary or you watch a story about someone's life and you see what they go through, the ups and downs or whatever, we try to learn from other people's mistakes so that we don't make the same ones. So when we get to watch History Channel and things like that, and we still make the same mistakes over and over again, it's sad because we don't learn, you know, and I wish more people could learn. But this story is real. It's got a real quality to it. And you're right when you were talking about Snake being pissy and worn out, because basically he's fed up. He's fed up to here with the government trying to control every aspect of his life. And at the very end, when he was able to give him the big FU, basically, I love that. I love that part of the ending. That, to me, I was like clapping. You know, I was excited about it because it's what all of us want to do at some point in our life. We want to give it back to the people that we feel are wronging us in our lives. You know what I mean? Whether it's your spouse or a family member that stole money from you, or somebody lied to you about something really major, you know, and that you gave up a bunch of things for it and then you got nothing, you know, that kind of thing. We all want to get revenge in some form. So it's nice to be able to get revenge by watching a movie. You watch a movie and it helps you get that that sense of like, damn, that was good. You know, it was nice to see somebody actually give it back to the man or whatever, that type of attitude. And sometimes even women want to watch that, you know. I don't like romance movies and comedies. I don't really like a lot of comedies and stuff. This is the kind of movie I like. I love action movies, and I love, you know, movies with a lot of kung fu or, you know, just different stuff like that. But I love magical movies and I love sci-fi. Horror sci-fi is my favorite genre. If that's the only ones I could ever watch and I only had to pick one, that would be what I wanted. But I think this is wonderful. I think it's a wonderful movie. I would recommend not having real young kids watch it, but a 10-year-old boy, I think, would really enjoy this if he's sitting there with his dad or his uncle or his papa, you know, getting to watch this movie and see Snake Plissken kicking some booty. You know, I think that it would be great. It's a good start for, it's like you were saying, Bruce, watching your son look at life and what is a man, you know, what's expected from men. You know, I'm not saying you got to be a anti-hero or anything like that, but we need to get back to where a man can be a man around their son, you know, and let their son grow up to be men and do manly things.
It's only in America where that's real, or Western civilization, where being a man is suppressed. In third world nations, being a man is highly valued because they will use the muscle of a man, the doctrine of man, to bully others at the fear of being executed. Like right now, it's going on in Syria, the Christians being slaughtered by Islamicists. Women aren't doing that. Men are doing that to other people. And therefore, like, you know, in third world countries, they often will have men take traditionally manly roles. And I hate to say that because in Western civilization, we should be competing and showing people that being in a third world nation is not envious, and having third world mentalities is not a good thing. But if we say those things, we're being fucking ableist or, you know, just snotty bastards. And I'm okay with being called names. I think it's good for me. It put them on my shoulders. Put those burdens upon my shoulders. I'll carry them tomorrow after I sleep with a fan on tonight. And I honestly feel that we need more manliness in America.
Well, I miss it
to help your children discover their power.
I grew up as a tomboy, basically, was surrounded by sisters, 2 sisters on both sides of me. And I got to hang out with my dad, and my dad was a jungle survival instructor. So I got to go camping. I got to go hunting, fishing, hiking, you know, learning all about the woods and seeing my dad be a man. do manly things that my mother didn't want to do. My mom liked being at home and sewing and watching TV and baking and stuff like that, which I hate all of that. Basically, I do some of it, but I don't really like to cook or any of that. But I will. But I love camping and hiking and fishing. I still love it now. And to me, when I see a man that likes to do those things, I think it's great. And even if they can't do it every week and that's not their life, they just do it when they can. That's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. And I wish we had more young men that wanted to do that type of thing. Just do manly things. There's nothing wrong with a guy that says, hey, I'll be right back. I'll go take a leak. And he goes out to the tree. My dad did it all the time. He had 1 bathroom and 5 daughters. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. And even a girl could do the same thing if they have to, when it comes down to it. I could drink water right out of the pond if I had to. If I was thirsty, I'm not going to go without and dehydrate and die in the woods because I can't drink water from a creek, things like that. The whole world has become wussies, basically. We can't do anything for ourselves. We have to drive through a drive-through to get this. We have to have Uber Eats bring us our food. We have to have all these things just to get by each week. Or if we don't, we're miserable. We can't watch our favorite show, or we can't do this or that. It's sad because that's where we are right now. And, I'm not on all these things. I'm doing this because I love this kind of stuff, but it isn't my whole life. I go many times where I don't do anything but stay outside with my chickens or work in my yard or, do things like that. But I wish more people had that opportunity to be able to spend more time out in nature or with other people, cooking out or going fishing or camping together, doing things where we're enjoying what we have. This beautiful, wonderful world. And I don't want to ever live like these people did in this movie. If I could ever help it, this is not what I want. But if I ever was forced to, I think I could survive because I'm going to be one of the people that's willing to go out and hunt. If I had to eat rat on a stick, that's what I'd be eating. It may not be what everybody else wants, but guess what? I'm not going to go hungry. I just loved it. I thought this movie was great, and I recommend everybody gets a chance.
I'll talk in my 2 cents. And I'll say this, I don't want to live in that type of situation, especially with my medical condition.
Yeah.
I'm no longer at that peak level that I thought I was. So
yeah,
that would suck for me. But it wouldn't be for lack of trying that I would, try to thrive as much as possible. But I've noticed that in the younger generation, I don't want to be back in my day, we did it this way. Drank water from the hose and blah, 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 whatever. But I've noticed that there's been a lot of browbeating on the male species. A lot of belittlement, a lot of negativity in the media, just all around trying to make weaker men. And, we do see some people being outspoken, but I think the time for the younger generation to have a voice is now, and not wait for a specific moment for it to get better for them to stand up. You got to test your mettle under adverse conditions. That's when people shine. When humanity gets at its lowest point is when we tend to shine, and then we overcome that obstacle and we become great in whatever endeavors. So for all the young men out there who wish they were more manly, this is the time to stand up and do your part. Speak out. Freaking touch grass. Do the hobbies you like to do. But also remember, keep it within community, because we all have to live with one another. So build those relationships. If you're feeling a little antsy and angsty about, talking with your neighbors or asking that girl out or whatever, do it. What's worse that's going to happen? They're going to say no. Big fucking deal. you got a fucking television that's beating you over the head 24/7 about how worthless you are. Fuck them. Prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there, do some shit. Make a name for yourself.
But you can be a man and open the door for a woman. You can pull her chair out for her. You can cook, help her cook in the kitchen, whether it's your mom or your grandma or your sister or your girlfriend or your wife. There's so many things that men can do. One thing that my mother absolutely loved, and she never really said it to that many people and told people about it, but she told me one time that one of the most romantic things that my dad ever did for her was, she said that they were going through a rough patch on, being able to almost not be able to pay all their bills, okay, because they had 5 kids or whatever. And she said it was her birthday, and that I'm going to get emotional. My dad found flowers on the side of the road and picked them for her, brought them home. And he walked in and he got down on one knee and asked her if she'd marry him again and gave her these flowers. And she said that was one of the most romantic things that she had ever had happen. So things like that, being a man and being able to do those things for someone you care about is the true meaning of being a man. And being able to not worry about whether another man would think, oh, that's what a wussy man would do, picking flowers on the side of the road or whatever, is do what comes natural to you. If it's in your heart and you want to do it for someone you care about, do it. Who cares what the other guys might say? If she's happy and you're happy together, that's who you spend your time with most of your time. And that's the person that you need to make sure stays by your side. So if you expect her to tell you what a wonderful person you are and how much they love you and they want to be with you every day and just be your partner, then be their partner, be you, because you fell in love for a reason. Just keep that fire burning by not letting other people make you feel like you can't do it because it's not manly enough or it's not kosher or whatever the reason is. Do it because it's in your heart for the person that you want to do it for. And don't let anybody else tell you that you're wrong. If you love them and you want to do it for them, do it. That's how I look at it. Be you. Sorry, I got a little emotional about it thinking because my mom's not here anymore. So it makes it tough when I think about stuff like that.
So I saw something that I wanted to share because this reminded me of something you would see happen in the movie that we watched.
Okay, I'm going to click on it. Ready?
Right. Yeah, take me over there. All right, here we go.
Darling, just
There we go.
Is it a kitty?
No, not a kitty.
It's a squirrel?
Squirrel.
Aw, got stuck in the pipe.
Got stuck in the pipe.
Aw, what a sweet.
Gotta clean him up. Gotta get him ready to go. Look at that. He's happy. He's clean.
Oh,
Pat him up a little bit.
Oh, and then eat
yeah.
them. Hey, I've eaten squirrel, so I can understand.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Just
Yeah,
don't use buckshot.
That's perfect. That's a story with a happy ending.
Yeah, there's another one out, and it's a cute little pig, and they put a little hat on it, and it's like at the spa, and they're massaging it and putting creams and ointments and oils on it, and then they show it on the grill as ribs. Yeah, I've seen that, but I like meat. I eat beef and chicken, and I eat all that stuff, and I've eaten squirrel and rabbit. So,
You ever hunt
Yeah,
squirrel and
we did
rabbit?
that
You ever
to my,
trap squirrel?
rabbit thumper.
I like squirrel
After
better
it
than I like
passed away.
rabbit. But I'm sorry. What'd you say, Six Nation?
We did that to Thumper, my rabbit, after he passed away.
Oh, you did?
At least not
Well,
wanting.
rabbit's not so bad. It's just I think squirrel's better. Maybe it was the way it was cooked, but I've never had iguana. Have you guys had iguana?
I eat alligator tail when I get the chance, but
Oh, I love alligator. Yeah.
I've had gator.
I've eaten bat
Yeah.
too. We lived in the Philippines. I had bat. I didn't know it was bat when I ate it, but it was okay. but you got to remember too, it's all how it's cooked. If you have a really good person cooking a certain meat like venison, it can be so good with gravy and mashed potatoes and stuff. But you can have someone else cook it and you're like, what is this? And they'll tell you and you'll say, oh, okay, but it's not near as good because the person doesn't cook it the same, or they overcook it. My sister, one of my sisters, she likes steak. I like mine rare, or medium rare. And she likes hers well done. It's almost like shoe leather. It just cooks all the taste out of it. To me, it's like, oh, I don't like it. So, you can have a lot of good food out there, but if it's not cooked the way you like it, then it's not going to be very tasty. I don't care what it is. But I like duck. Do you guys like duck?
Duck is good. Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I'd rather have like beef, but I'll eat poultry.
Yeah. Well, I like duck tacos and stuff, depending on, it's like I said, how you cook it. Well, is there anything else you guys want to add to the movie?
Next week, we're watching Night of the Comet.
That's right.
1984 film with Catherine Mary Stewart and a few other lovely people. So we'll be discussing that.
Robert Beltran from Star Trek.
Say again?
Robert Beltran from Star Trek.
Yes, he's in that.
He was the trucker.
Oh, the trucker. Okay. I can't remember the actor that plays the boyfriend.
I've never seen the movie before, so I
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, well, I'm going to have to look it up because I really like this movie. It was really good. And a lot of people...
I'm not going to say anything then.
A lot of people talk about it pretty highly.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
It was really good. I thought
like
it was really good. So a lot of people I've talked to that have seen it said that they thought it was really good too for a sci-fi type movie. So
I've heard about it a lot. I've wanted to see it, just haven't seen it yet. And since we're kind of dipping ourselves in the 80s movies right now, like we had The Hidden, now we got this. I'm
excited about having a movie that you haven't seen that I've seen, because it's not very often. You know what I mean?
Okay, Janet, I always had a job after the age of 14. And, we always had the ability to go to a video rental place.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of the area I grew up in. That was like even the crappy little Dick's Corner Market with the IGA milk.
Yeah.
They had like 70 videos you could rent out. Okay. And like everybody, when the video rental market first started, everybody jumped into VHS rentals. And this is before the era of Redbox. Like VHS places were on street corners all over middle America. Mm-hmm. And in Lincoln, Illinois, we had them. In Decatur, Illinois, we had them. I never rented anything from Springfield because that was just 54 miles. That's too far. Or 34 miles, but still 54 minutes away, too far. And I could go to Lincoln within 22 minutes or Decatur within 12, and it was not a big issue. It was just easy for me to get a hold of a video rental and just enjoy it. So like that was me growing up. I'd have something going on in the background when I'd be working out, doing push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. I was always doing that because I was in wrestling, trying to figure out why am I such a loser. Turned out really strong, still never became a good fighter. So it was just, we got a question for Encino Man. Let me see where Encino Man is.
Have you seen that yet?
No, I've not seen it.
I thought it was on the list, but it got pushed way back.
Yeah, it's 20.
I don't think I've seen it before. So I said
It's
familiar.
What do you mean you've not seen Encino Man before?
I don't think I've seen it before. Who's in it?
Brendan Fraser, Pauly Shore, I believe.
Now, they're the same ones that made the one where they live in a big bubble or a big dome. And there's like electrolytes or something.
Biodome?
No, it's Pauly Shore and that other Baldwin.
Okay, well, I saw that finally. I think, didn't you make me watch it?
We watched Last One Past.
Spaceman.
No, this was another one where I had the big medallion on my shirt. Remember? What was that one?
Shaft.
No, I had that big quarter I wore around my neck, and the one guy was president, and it was really funny and stupid, but I can't remember the name of it.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Idiocracy is where they buried the army guy in the cryo, and they woke him up later, and he's the smartest man on the earth. And yeah,
that one. And
That
remember,
guy.
I was one of the people in the White House that had the big quarter around my neck.
yes.
Okay, so that's not the same group of people.
It's got
No, this is high schoolers or college students that find the Iceman in Encino Valley,
Okay.
and they thaw him
they
out,
thaw him
and and turn him into the hottest guy in school. And
Well, Earth Girls Are Easy. We haven't done that yet, and they shave
We're gonna
those.
stay away from that. We're going to stay away from that
Why?
because that.
I watched
Okay,
Meat Train. I
was
watched
it
Meat
Earth
Train.
Girls Are Easy? I'm not certain if it was.
Oh, God.
there was-
You watch
another
the,
song
the
stuck in my
Bad
head now that
Girls.
you guys mentioned.
Okay,
that.
I'll tell you why I'm not going to watch Earth Girls Are Easy. We watched this
Why?
documentary called In Search of Tomorrow, right? And it was pretty
Julie
good until they
Brown.
got to 1988.
Yeah.
When they hit 1988 on this documentary, they brought in downtown Julie Brown, and all she did was bitch
bitch
No,
about
about
that's the other
that
one.
movie.
That was the one from MTV. No, this is Julie Brown,
Julie Brown, the writer. My bad.
the
Yeah.
writer. Yes.
That's
She
it,
was, and like I had to listen to this slag talk for fucking 20 minutes of this documentary. They ignored The Abyss. They ignored other 1989 and other 1988 sci-fi movies. But no, they let Julie Brown talk, and then they talk about fucking division in Hollywood and go on a racial feminist rant.
But
And
that was the person who made the documentary. That doesn't.
they let Julie
Ruin the
Brown rattle
movie.
too much. Go ahead,
So?
you can roll tape with Julie Brown. Just don't fucking air it. Don't make it part of the final cut.
Well, you picked that one. I'd never seen the documentary.
No. We watched this. We watched
No,
that.
I know, but you picked the documentary to watch.
Yeah, I didn't realize the last 2 years of it was
neither
shit.
did I. I didn't either.
Like,
So
and they
before-
fucked up because they didn't even show 1990. 1990 was the last year of the 80s.
Yeah.
0 is the last year because 1 is the beginning. So 91 starts the 90s. 80, the movie, the documentary fucked up because it shows 1980. They want to talk about Empire Strikes Back. They want to talk about other 1980 things going on. And they kind of like, they should have said right before the 80s, we had 1980, here's Empire Strikes Back. But instead, they start off and just think like you're all idiots and you're all public schooled. But
Yeah.
when you actually look at numastics of it and study the numbers, I know I've got a fucking spasm here. I'm autistic, but I'm gonna stay in character.
Yeah.
And fuck that stupid documentary and fuck Julie Brown. I don't want to watch anything with her in it.
Okay.
I'm done.
Well, okay, then we can't watch anything with like Tom Cruise in it then.
We already watched Legend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I won. I already got what I wanted out of that. I
like Legend because
Tom Cruise
Tim
movie.
Curry was in it. So see, I can put up with a dum-dum in a movie or someone I don't like to get the person I do want to see.
I
Robert Pardo
got
was in it too.
Yeah. it
we
was
got
a-
Tim Curry.
Gotta give
We
him,
got who was
props
the
for-
female?
Meg Mucklebones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mucklebone.
Cotton.
we already
Meg
reviewed
Mucklebone.
Legend. If you never want to watch, hey, take care, Cotton. If you never want to watch another Tom Cruise film, that's great. Because I got the
No,
one
I'm
I
just
wanted.
saying, I've watched many movies with people I didn't like that starred in the movie just because I want to see the movie. I can put that aside and still look at the movie and judge the movie.
It's not the fact that it's got any stars I don't like because I love Gina Davis. I love Jeff Goldblum. I wish they would have stayed together. They would have been better together than by her going off with the director, Remy Harlan. But life exists. The
Yeah.
problem that I have is Julie Brown.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot.
Because I'm blonde, I don't have to think. I talk like a baby and I never pay for drinks. That one.
Yeah.
The one who sings that song. Yeah, I know who you're
I-
talking
Either Julie Brown, the writer, or Downtown Julie Brown, it doesn't matter. Both of them are human waste, and I'm a shitlord, so I fucking know what
That's
waste.
Downtown Julie Brown.
But both of them are garbage in my opinion. I can't stand either. She almost ruined MTV for me. I just want, like, Earth Girls Are Easy would have been kind of fine without her, but she's a principal writer and it's a garbage script.
Well, I thought it was funny. I laughed my butt off. I thought it was great. But that's okay. We don't have to watch it.
That's fine. I'll concede you on every Tom Cruise film. Every. Except for Legend, because you already done it. And
I love Legend though, because Tim Curry's in it.
It's one of the few Ridley Scott movies
Fern Gully is another one I would like to watch too.
Ridley Scott, he's kind of a conflicted director. With a good script, he's amazing. With a muddled script, he's not. And like we can go to like the 2000 Gladiator movie, which I didn't really think was that great of a movie. It's got good actors in it. It's got good acting performances in it. The script is crap. There's some good special effects that get revealed for the first time in that movie. Mm-hmm. There's also in the deleted scenes a very bad rhino, but very poorly CGI'd rhino. But then you have Prometheus, which is supposed to be one of his crowning achievements, and I cannot, for the life of me, stand Prometheus. And I don't like Alien Covenant much either, because it's just like he pulls.
Have you seen the newest one?
Romulus?
The very newest Alien movie or whatever?
Alien Romulus was the last one I saw, and I thought it was shit.
Well, I haven't seen the newest one, whichever the one that is. It came out like last year or the year before.
The kids go up into a space station trying to escape the planet below.
Yeah, that one.
And the space station is a research facility with aliens on it. Mm-hmm. And it's got good suspense in certain parts. But the final act made me, like, because all of the actors look like they're 12 to 15-year-old kids.
Yeah.
They all look like they belong on The Facts of Life, like 1981, 82. They look that young.
Yeah, that's what sucks about getting older. They all look young.
It doesn't. It's not even that. It's the fact that one of the kids is pregnant, and she looks young. Okay, no big deal. I had a young friend get pregnant at the age of 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But then at the very end of the film, magically, when the alien or when the child is birthed, it's not a child. It's an alien that's getting birthed. And I'm kind of confused, and I'm kind of frustrated and very furious about, like, all the thoughts in my head of how could this happen? Did the face hugger, instead of hugging her face, hug her vajayjay? I really hated that movie because I had a fucking 30-minute.
It didn't happen to her while she was sleeping. I didn't even know what happened.
My brain just hurts from even thinking that, oh, she was asleep and didn't know what happened. Like,
it's like bad fanfic. What it is.
Horrible fanfic. And like that's the entirety of everything Alien-esque related since 2004. AVP on, I'll even say Aliens 4 Resurrection is better than AVP or anything since released, because nothing has succeeded, in my opinion. And I just absolutely can't stand Ridley Scott.
Sad.
Ron Scott died. I like Tony Scott better. He directed True Romance and many other fine films.
Yeah.
And I along with Tom Cruise, I'll give you Ridley Scott films. Anything you nominate Ridley Scott must watch, fine, I'll watch it, but I don't want to. Ridley Scott, it has to have the immaculate script for him to do his magic, and if not, it goes off like a wet fart. Sorry, kids.
That's okay. Six Nations was trying to say something. What were you trying to say?
I was going to say that it's sad because we have all this source material from the original two, which did really well. Third one was meh. Fourth one was okay, sorta. But we got the comics, we got the books. Like there's a lot of information out there that they could have gone and used. And I guess now with this next installment, they're going to be on Earth, and who knows if they even touched any of that. I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Oh, they're gonna have another Alien movie, and it's gonna be based on Planet Earth.
Yeah, it's going to be
I don't know if
Aliens
Alien Earth is
Earth.
a series or if it's a movie.
See, I don't know.
It's a movie, I
haven't seen
think. It might be a series, though. Whatever it is, it's the next
to start
installment.
again. Did you guys like that?
Did we like what?
Did you like Fallout?
It was okay.
I can't
I
wait
haven't
till
watched
the
it yet.
Completely bore me.
It's not
But,
started yet.
you
has
know,
it?
Walter Goggins kind of stole the cake with his character. So, I don't know. I like him. He was entertaining.
I
But,
thought it was awesome.
I hope that they go into the lore more often than like here's the new shiny.
But you
like,
played the
the one-
game.
I've played the first two, the third one, New Vegas. I haven't touched 4 or
Yeah.
76.
I like Fallout Tactics the best. Brotherhood of Steel. I thought that was a really good game. You could pick up a crew and you had one main character. Don't let him die, but you could play through it, and it was very good. There's a nice in game that Arlie Ermey's character plays the most nefarious antagonist in a video game I've ever seen, better than Shodan or Shodan 2. And I think that Fallout Tactics is the unsung high point of the Fallout series. I've tried playing 3, and I did not like 4. It's just me. I like part 1 and 2 because they were isometric and they told a really good story. The story was very well done within the boundaries of technology. When technology got better, the gameplay felt like it got worse. And that's my complaint about
I
Fallout.
noticed when it went to first person, third person, it was like they wanted the feel of the first 2 games, but they didn't really know how to do the whole retro futuristic Art Deco feel to it, because it was like, okay, these people have been around for 200 years. They still haven't picked up the trash that's in the local diner. Like, there's a corpse sitting over there in the corner. Like, it just didn't have the same vibe.
Mm-mm.
But
And I wanted to like them.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played any of the games, so when I got to see the series, because Walton Goggins was in it, I loved it. I thought it was really good. So I can't complain. I can't wait for the next season of it.
Everything I've loved as a younger man or child is dead to me now. I don't watch Star Wars. I don't give a fuck about aliens. I don't really care about Predator. It's fine. There's plenty of new shit out there that I can fuck with. I've got miniatures to paint.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that. Like, I'm not forced to run a D&D game as WotC Hasbro wants me to run a game.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want. DMs are the ones with real power in that hobby. And I'm going to continue to be an asshole that has strong colonist vibes. I'm a heterosexual, so I'm going to stare at boobs. And I love my...
Not an asshole. You're a dick. There's a difference. Be the dick you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And when you
to
play
circle back,
go ahead.
But you're not afraid to be
gonna
yourself.
watching Night of the Comet next week. Night of the Comet. You're probably going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yes.
And
I
Janet,
liked
you've
it.
seen it. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
thought it was
good.
pretty good. I think you're going to enjoy it too. It's not wussified either. I don't
Well,
think.
that's good because there's a lot of movies that try to come out and they try to be all machete and they suck.
Yeah.
All right. And there's other movies that they never even aspire to be great. They just suck. And I like Ryan Gosling as a person. I have a problem with Blade Runner 2049. We are going to review that movie later next year.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
It has its problems. It has its strengths. I I wish Ryan Gosling would pick more movies that showcase his masculinity instead of his femininity. That's
Yeah.
the problem that I have with Ryan Gosling. It just, I understand that, women back in the 2000 teens wanted a man that was in touch with his feminine side, and they cried a lot. I grew up watching Ricky Schroeder. I already thought we went through this. Every chance he had to cry, I think they gave him an extra $10,000 bonus. And in a lot of movies Schroeder was in, he cried. Well, we're going to watch The Champ in the month of December, by the way. Have you ever seen The Champ?
Yes.
Is that with Ricky Schroeder's dad in it?
Ricky Schroeder, John Voight, and
And he's a boxer.
Yep.
I think I
What's the
saw
Faye
it.
Grant? Might not be Faye Grant, but
I don't
somebody
know.
that looks like her. The antagonist boxer in that movie is actually the antagonist in the 1989 wonderful film Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, I like Rutger Hauer.
Not Shokasugi either, though. The white guy, the big fat white guy, Tex. Anyway, we'll be watching Night of the Comet next week, and if you want to know, 2 weeks from now, we're watching a film called Dark Star because Janet hasn't seen it, and there's a part of the movie you watched today that there's a giant orangish colored rescue capsule the president has to get stuffed in.
You said
And
it was a giant beach ball.
It reminded me of the fucking beach ball in Dark Star. And me and Six Nations laughed our asses off. Janet's wondering what's the joke. And
Yeah, I didn't get it.
we'll watch it 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Thank you so
sounds
much,
good.
Janet.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today and really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And you're welcome.
I'm
I'm glad
glad
you
we,
kept joining us.
Conquered the technology problems that these companies are fucking around with us with. Like,
But you know what? I could hear
Drives me
you
nuts.
through the whole show. You didn't go in and out at all that I noticed today. Did you notice? Bruce?
His
No.
audio is better.
Yeah, your audio is great today. I mean, I didn't hear any drops or.
it's probably because it's StreamYard and not Restream, which is still in its infancy, right? It's a small
Maybe, yeah.
company doing its thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's one thing I was going to say. Hey, you sound really good. I can hear everything you say when I'm not talking over you. Sorry, but yeah. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. I'm sorry it took so long, but we had a lot of technical difficulties trying to get stuff started up, and hopefully we can get that worked out this next week. But thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll talk to you guys later.
You wear nice clothes, people think you're showing off. If you wear simple clothes, people think you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, then you're a coward. If you're successful, then you're arrogant. And if you're struggling, then you're lazy. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always have something to say. So ignore people and their opinions. Because so long as your God is pleased with you, who cares what people think?
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.